You know, John, in just about a month's time, once again, we will be in the same space.
We will indeed.
And I know that we don't know when these things are going to happen. And it's kind of like the further in advance that it's set up, the more we can move our pieces into position.
I'm sorry, pieces?
On the board, you know?
Oh, I was just looking forward to hanging out with my friend. There's a board,
Yes!
is there?
There is a board, and what do you boards? We can have fun playing board games together, is what I'm trying to say.
That's what you meant. You meant playing board. Which
totally...
board games, Woolie? Which ones?
Risk.
Emotional Risk?
Yeah, there's something fun about the idea of, you know, I never quite know when we're going to be in the same room at the same time. But when it happens, you just got to, like, break the glass and go, okay, all right, we got to make plans, we got to make motions. You know, things have to pick up speed. We have to get where we need to be for these events to
like I'm thinking about Anime North and I'm like, I can't wait to share a drink with my good friend Woolie. You are sounding like you are preparing for a natural disaster.
I want to put on a good show.
Oh, that's the fucking scariest thing you could have said. After the last panel, after MagFest, like that, Jesus Christ, I will never forget feeling like I was...
I want everyone who comes out to see us at Anime North to enjoy themselves. And sometimes these things take a little bit of planning, you know? So that's all. That's all. So, you know what? I like planning. I like labbing. So, hey, friendship, let's plan that out. Let's plan how to spend our time wisely. You know? Just you, me, and an auditorium full of people.
Fucking hundreds of people. I'm Eyepatch Wolf.
I am Woolie Versus.
And we
are...
Versus Wolves!
How's it going this month? How are we doing?
You know, Woolie, I'm a little shaken up.
Are
Honestly.
you a little shaken up? Things ended on a little bit of I would say a smidge of a chaotic note.
Yeah.
But
I would say that, you know, it was a very, very stressful month. I would say that you played not insignificant role in that stress, but we'll get to that. Well, that's not even what I'm talking about.
Well, that's exactly, because I was like, let's not pop anything open too soon here.
This is the casual portion of the podcast. We're chilling, we're vibing,
rolling out.
One of the people.
We'll
this
get
is the part
there
where we talk about our personal life, and the audience gets to come into our world a little bit. Well, someone came into my world this month, Woolie. And it was an enemy. I made an enemy this month. And I...
At this age.
Oh, Woolie. Listen, when you're me, you can make enemies anywhere, anytime. But
wow.
This is one of the stranger experiences I've had out on the streets of Dublin, okay? And this is going to take a little bit of a description of the Dublin pizza scene, all right? There is a...
I love the setup. Please take it away.
Okay. There is a bizarre amount of fantastic pizza in Dublin. It's actually just a great pizza for Dublin. It's a great city for pizza, and there's been some like really long-standing ones like De Fontaine's. De Fontaine's is this, like, it basically looks like your average fish and chip shop. And I wandered in there once because I needed a slice of pizza. And I was like, fuck it, yeah, give me a slice. Bought like a €5 slice of pizza, took a bite. Why is this one of the best pizzas I've ever had?
Okay.
I started telling other people about it, and people were like, oh yeah, De Fontaine's is like legit. That place rules.
You've had a New York slice?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Big fan of New York pizza.
And you've had Como's when we up here,
which was phenomenal.
Okay, so you've got you've got dots on the board.
Yeah, I am
experience.
well-rounded in pizza. My two favorite pizza restaurants in Dublin are Pie, which is just excellent traditional pizza. Get there.
Yeah, I'm pretty well-rounded too.
Oh shit! Oh no! Okay, while you struggle with your momentary disaster, Woolie, Doom Slice in is it fucked?
I can't find where the stand went, but I am listening to you, so do continue.
Okay.
I am listening.
So Doom Slice is the one that's where I bring people. I'm pretty sure me and Fox went to Doom Slice, and that does like these massive deep dish Chicago, I think, style pizzas, and they are unbelievable, so good. I actually featured Doom Slice in a favorite things video, and then they invited me to their birthday, and they gave me a hat that just said Doom on it, and it was like, fuck yeah, this is exactly what I'm about.
The Chicago deep dish is like, it's barely a pizza, right? It's like a pie lasagna thing going on.
I have had deep dish before, and I've been like, listen, this is a lot of dough, and I don't know that the ingredients are really covering this density of food. And Doom Slice, just awesome ingredients, fucking delicious pizza.
Okay.
We'll throw some footage of Doom Slice from my old favorite things video up on screen.
You guys got that. You got that European dough, though, right? You got that the stuff that doesn't sit as heavy in your stomach, which.
This is some heavy dough. This is some serious business. You have like maybe 2 slices of Doom Slice, and you're done.
Okay.
Then you have Bambino's. And Bambino's is the most popular pizza shop in Dublin. Line out the door every fucking day. You like anytime you walk into the city, you basically, if you get the Lewis into the city, you basically see like you have to walk by Bambino's, and massively popular. They have these big long slices, and you dip them in these little pots of honey. And what I would say about Bambino's, perfectly average pizza. Mm-hmm. It's good. Mm-hmm. You want a pizza? You want a slice of pizza? Yeah, sure. That's gonna hit the spot. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't feel like going into DeFontaine's or Doom Slice. Maybe you just need something to go.
Does the job.
Great. Totally fine. Is it perhaps maybe a little overrated? Well, I think so. I think given its level of popularity, it maybe hasn't earned it in my eyes.
Can it be described as grand?
It's grand.
It's grand. It's grand. We're learning. It's
grand.
It's grand. Yeah. All right.
In no reality is Bambino's a bad pizza slice. I just think that maybe it's not at the level of many of these other excellent pizza places, and I struggle to see why it's so popular.
Okay.
So I'm walking down Dublin City, Grafton Street, to be precise, and I'm walking down with my friend Owen, as some people may know, the Infinite Review, phenomenal channel, who I've shouted out multiple times. And Owen says to me, John, is Bambino as good as people say it is? And I look at Owen and I go, Owen, it's a perfectly adequate pizza slice. Walking 10 feet in front of me is a woman. This woman stops dead, 180s, and gives me the hardest death stare I have ever seen. And, like, it was kind of impossible to ignore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and like, to be clear, now Woolie, like, this isn't an exaggeration. The Infinite Review can back me up on this. My words were perfectly adequate pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this woman must really like Bambino's. And so, we're walking up the top of Grafton Street, and we get to the top of Grafton Street.
Did you happen to cross paths with Mrs. Bambino? Oh, man.
So we get to the top of Grafton Street, we turn right, and we walk towards Bambino's. She has also turned right. She is still 10 feet in front of us. I feel a bit weird now. I feel like it's like we're stalking her, which I don't want it to feel like.
Yep.
And big queue so walking by Bambino's, big queue at the front like there always is. She walks straight in past the queue.
Oh, no.
And I know that, like, I look distinctive enough that she's gonna remember, you know? And I feel like I've made an enemy now, and I can never go into Bambino's again.
Oh, and you've got face accessories.
I know.
Like, even if they didn't remember, there's that. You know,
like,
okay.
Now I need to like always be watching my shit.
Now,
because
in your defense, Owen asked the question because it was already in the air. Nobody asks that question if they weren't already having a thought and wanted someone who had perhaps more information to confirm or elaborate on the thought that already existed, right? So it wasn't a, hey, how is it? The wording is it as good as everyone says it is?
Yes.
Which leads you to like a, I'm already wondering what the deal is myself here.
Yeah. And like, there's just a few angles to this that make me uncomfortable, okay? Because first of all, this was a private conversation, goddammit. I did not go into Bambino's and be like, your pizza fucking and second, I didn't even insult the pizza. I just said I don't think it's as good as other people do, while not saying anything negative about it. You know?
Now, in an alternate reality where you went, it's the best goddamn slice I've ever had, are you walking out of there with 2 boxes free? And, you know, maybe. And a picture and a signature and maybe a little...
Maybe they put my
face on the wall. Yeah, that's where I'm going, you know?
Okay. If Bambino's is willing to put a framed picture of me up on the wall, I will reverse my stance. Look, I'm just saying, Doom Slice gave me the hat. Okay?
Yeah, like... Okay.
If you want a good review in this day and age, know what I'm saying?
Fast forward to the climax of this war, where you're face down in the dirt and you're looking around and you can barely stand up. And as Bambino's is beating you down, one figure in the background, you hear the footsteps and you look up, and who is it? It's Ruby. And Ruby's standing behind you, and she's got a plate of curry goat, and she picks you back up.
I hear voices in my head, they call to me, they understand. For some reason, Ruby has Randy Orton's theme music. She comes in, starts OKing people.
Oh man. You've made some
Woolie,
food friends, so you know what? A food enemy was due.
I guess so, right? Man, dude, next time you come to Dublin, we got to go to Ruby's. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
We got to go to Ruby's. And we got to go to Doom Slice. And I'll tell you where we're not fucking going. Anyway.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, I mean, look, hey, good luck with that.
I feel like so many of our heart-to-hearts end with a similar sentiment.
Yeah, that's some shit you got to figure out now. Yeah.
Oh, how's life in your world, Woolie?
Well, I mean, while we're on the topic of Ireland, I suppose.
Sure.
I have a Notion Watch question.
Oh, okay.
I have just a curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways, and there's a lot of discussion about, like, you know, the understanding of notions. There are moments of notions that fly by undetected or uncalled out. For example, discussing how attractive one might be walking down the streets and noticing the lack thereof. Is that notions? Who's to say, right?
I mean, I can comment on that because we got a lot of feedback on that. Okay, there was. Okay, do you know Fox pissed me off so much recently, and it wasn't even that. Okay, it was over the sumo wrestler shit, and he said this, and I just no sold it, and I just wanted to make it. I was like, I'm not even gonna give you. I'm not even gonna acknowledge this. I'm just laughing because you know when someone really knows how to fucking get you.
Yeah.
Fox just sends me a message after the last episode, and he goes, "I'm just gonna say it. I could have lasted longer with the sumo wrestler."
Check the tapes. Check the tapes.
Yeah, but
No, it's just you know, I've been informed that there are things out there that can help me get a deeper understanding of notions and such, and I you know, I think there's a level of it that I've displayed an understanding for. I guess the question I'm asking is should I watch Father Ted?
no.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Gauging facial reactions here. Gauging responses. Processing.
Father Ted's that's been in the backpack for a little while. Now, if you're also wondering, is there maybe a reason I would be reluctant to talk about Father Ted? Yes.
Okay.
But that's been cooking, and I don't have any immediate plans to put it into place.
Okay.
But this is one of those moments where, do you remember our panel at MagFest, someone recommended me, I think they recommended me Kamen Rider.
Okay.
And you pulled the mic up and you said,
"No,
I get to say when he watches Kamen Rider."
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is that moment.
Gotcha.
I need to go back and do a little rewatch because I need to know specifically what we're getting into with Father Ted. And there's a couple of different angles to that. That's been a thought for a while.
Because I've been informed that apparently a great and deep understanding of notions can be developed by watching Father Ted.
It is... So I haven't watched it in decades. It might be the only good TV program Ireland has ever made.
Okay. Because I also was like, trying to gauge that reaction as if like, is this considered hacky dreck that is so
Father Ted
stereotypical and this is a bad recommend, you know?
Father Ted is beloved. It is some combination of Always Sunny, Twin Peaks, and Ireland.
Okay. So this is it's a solid one, so solid in fact that it might need to be discussed at a later time.
Yes.
Understood. Okay. All right.
So, okay. The person... I want to address the notions about the Japan talk. And the best way I could do it is one of my favorite comments we got in that episode where someone said, "Is John discussing attractiveness notions?" And someone said, "No, because if you'll observe, they carefully couched it in self-deprecating humor." And that person is either Irish or spent a significant amount of time around Irish people. Yes, that is what you do.
That is a sniper fucking... That is the sound of a Kraber shot landing. Yep. Okay. I mean, I think everyone heard it for what it was and just was like, must be nice to walk through life having this thing and then being like, oh, I'm not feeling it as I walk around Japan.
How many threesomes have you been offered this month, Woolie? Just how many? Just ballpark number. Less than 5? Less than 5? Is it less than 5? No answer! No answer!
This bit. I mean, all right. What's up?
I wanted to talk a little bit, Woolie, about a little game I've been playing called Easy Delivery Company.
I've heard of this, yeah.
This is a weird one. So, you are a little low-poly Animal Crossing-esque cat, and you have just arrived at a mountainside town, and your job is to put packages in your shitty little truck and ferry them across 3 different like little mountain towns. And you're driving along these long mountain roads. And I was kind of like taken by the aesthetic of it and like the slight Twin Peaksiness of it. Like, obviously, it feels like there was something a little odd going on here. And I thought maybe this would be like secretly kind of a horror game. And so I cleared like I cleared a couple of hours one Saturday, and I was like, okay, I just want to sit down with this for the afternoon, get my cup of coffee, and just kind of chill here. And yeah, that is a game where you spend 95% of your time driving along mountain roads, ferrying packages from one side of the game to the next. There are no cutscenes, nothing really happens, and the game wasn't like... It didn't really feel like it was subversive in a way that I was kind of hoping it would be. So I kind of finished up my session. I was like, cool, don't need to play any more of that. I appreciate this game for what it is. Not really for me. And I like think about it constantly the next week. And I'm like, this didn't land. But so there's something here. There's something about this game that I'm like, I kind of want to go back. And so next Saturday again, I like to play, like, I like to try and carve out a couple of hours on like a Saturday afternoon, just play like some weird indie game that I wouldn't usually play, like maybe like a visual novel or like Norto or Norco kind of games like that, just kind of atmospheric kind of story games. And so I go back and I kind of play it again. And I stick on a podcast, and after a while, I'm like, okay, let me try something here. And I turn off the podcast, so it is just me on this mountainside road, dropping packages back and forth to these little animals people. And it's like, it's kind of spooky, but not like horror. It's weird, and it's atmospheric. And I kind of end up just like completely zoning out and just being fucking in this game in a way that like I haven't really had in a while. And the only thing you really need to worry about is keeping your truck topped up with fuel and drinking enough coffee so that you have energy. And if you fail to do both those things, you can encounter these very grim scenarios where you freeze to death on the side of a mountain.
Okay.
And it was fucking kind of awesome.
Did you lock in with Death Stranding 1? I forget.
No. I came closer with Death Stranding 2. But this game, if I were to kind of describe it, it's like shaving all the fucking...
Kojima.
Everything. It's shaving all the Kojima off Death Stranding. And right. I'm not saying that's like a good or a bad thing, because like I enjoy Kojima, but it's like just this pure, like laser focused delivery game.
Okay.
And
because what you're describing is, because I love me some Kojumbo, and I've built a house on this obsession. And the part I was not expecting at all was the easy delivery, vibes of building the highway, trucking, dropping packages off, and then dealing with the horrors of man's creation, in the process. But the vibe of just trucking and crawling up the mountain and package delivery was a really fun one to just like kind of zone in and out of, despite the Kojima shit happening around. And I remember being like, I didn't think this was a genre I would have ever cared or tried to care for.
Never.
But it took me by surprise, and I enjoyed it.
So, yeah, and this is that. But this is just that. It is just delivery. You have a radio station, and there's a couple of different, like, music, and, like, one of them is, like, kind of breakbeat kind of stuff, like a lot of kind of drum and bass. And just, like, driving through the snow, listening to that shit, it was just like, oh, this fucking rules. Like, this is... I am really having an experience here,
Okay.
And
I don't know if I'd want to listen to some breakbeat while I'm being a Teamster, though. I feel like I want to hit the breaker 19. You know,
they have a channel for that too.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like a kind of lounge music kind of yeah. But that's that's not really the vibe of the game. The vibe of the game is very like subdued, very atmospheric. And so then like I get to the end of that session and I meet one of the characters and he's like, "Oh, yeah. The company you're working for, Easy Delivery, yeah, no, they've taken over the whole town and I want to take them down and I want you to help me if that's cool." And then it goes from there.
Okay.
And so there is actually stuff,
yeah.
And none of it's that complicated. None of it's even stuff that I haven't seen before. But I feel like there's going to be a really small portion of our audience that is kind of going to get what I'm talking about here, like just in terms of like the atmosphere and the vibe of it. And I think those people should give this game a shot because it's like the last couple of weeks for me, like super stressful for like a bunch of different reasons. And I would so look forward to my time zoning out with this game. And it was rad. Like it was great. And I think the game's like $5. Like it's nothing. You know, and
yeah, the importance of a good zone out game is crucial. Yeah,
I don't know that I've had a lot of them, but this did it.
Okay,
like this. Yeah, this hit that button.
I always have to have one that is like a time agnostic. I'm finished for the day, and the brain can just rest while I'm clicking around on Slay the Spire, Into the Breach, Darkest Dungeon, stuff like that. And
but even stuff like that, it's like your neurons are firing. You can feel those synapses going mad, and you can feel the reward they provide. This doesn't even have that, and it's kind of meditative. I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say for the things I just mentioned, like after repetition, the synapses are like firing less, and it becomes meditative. Like going through Balatro was that for me as well, where you're like I'm hitting up against the mechanics, and trying to bend the odds in my favor, but I'm familiar with everything that's coming at me, and I'm just trying to achieve a difficult but possible outcome. Interesting. I have a game that I've been spending a little bit of time with, and I'm going to preface this to say that this was a game that I was #sponsored to play. So my opinions were there. I did play it as a sponsored stream, but I played it as a demo before that and still fucking loved it. Pragmata is the new Capcom sci-fi shooter that just came out. And sponsorship aside, game is fucking awesome, man. I'm really enjoying it.
So I have not been sponsored by Pragmata. And boy, Capcom, are you about to fucking regret that. No, I have not played Pragmata. I did play the demo. I actually played through the demo multiple times.
Oh, cool.
And
okay.
I came away from that demo being like, oh, this has the sauce. This seems like it fucking rules. I just briefly want to say I've took like the smallest peek at the discourse surrounding this game. Don't care. Don't have fucking no idea where this is coming from like 8 different angles. Don't give a shit. I think this game seems fine. That's it. Backing out. Pragmata seems good. How are you enjoying Pragmata, Woolie?
Infinitely disinterested in whatever the fuck that topic is. The game
multiple
very, very
bizarre
cool.
topics. Yep.
I feel like the way that I kind of looked at so one thing I like is Capcom's taking swings with new IPs, right? I like that they tried. They have their RE and Street Fighter and all these classics going. They've got stuff coming back like Okami is on the way. But they're also trying out things like Kunitsugami is a brand new IP. Exoprimal is a brand new.
Kunitsugami fucking rules. I love Kunitsugami.
Right? Yeah.
Right. That game is so sick.
Exoprimal, I didn't really try it. Looks like it's not quite Dino Crisis, but they tried something new, And
hey, listen, it rains dinosaurs. So.
It does. And so here you got another thing where they're like, yeah, let's just try something else. And I super respect that. Like, I love that they're going for new IPs. In particular, like, the deal with this one is, it's a third-person shooter. You look like you're a man in a Vanquish suit, and you've got Diana on your back, and this is almost like so this is dad space is one genre term, dad slop. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because you've got you got the kid on your back, and between this, the Death Stranding, and Donkey Kong that just dropped, it feels like there's a current renaissance of these like dad slop games kind of going. But I say that like affectionately. Because what's happening is while you're shooting and aiming and taking care of the problems of the big sci-fi robots that are coming to get you, she can hack them. And the hacking minigame is basically just a little maze that you have to navigate a little a line through. You're playing almost like Snake, in a little grid. And the faster you can do that little hacking minigame on the enemy, the more it opens them up to crits, and it does some damage, and it disables them, and it makes the fight easier, right? So you're kind of playing two games at once. And there's a whole conversation I can get into here, but like I'm going to have to take the TLDR on it to say, I've played games where they've tried to do that and where it fails, and it really, really bothers me. And one of the infamous examples for me is The World Ends With You, because that's a game that I fucking love the music, the aesthetics, the world. Everything about that game is a Woolie game. I'm wearing a Jet Set Radio shirt right now. The World Ends With You should be my favorite thing ever, but I couldn't get into it because the pass the puck system in the first game just bothered me a lot, and I didn't have fun with it.
I had the exact same experience with World Ends With You. I wanted that to become one of my favorite games. I don't know if it's if it takes a certain mindset. I could never get into the combat.
Yeah, there's little things where like the pins and stuff where there's a bunch going on there, but ultimately, and people who do have heard me talk about this elsewhere might be sick of hearing about it, admittedly. But if you haven't heard me discussing it, it's just something where I felt that passing the puck was like it felt like you almost like stopped playing the game on the bottom screen to then go pay attention to the top screen, and it was disjointed. And the game wanted you to like play these two simultaneous things and pass it back and forth. And it just didn't feel cohesive. It didn't feel like they came together in a way that really felt fun to me, But I feel like Pragmata is like the antithesis of that, and it works so much better as an idea where like the pressure of the hacking and what's going on that's in front of you, you can look at it overlaid on the enemy you're already shooting at, And I felt like there's these great moments of like you're dealing with a room full of enemies, or a couple of them are coming at you, and you can dodge out of the way and avoid it. But suddenly, when you take this shooter scenario and you drop yourself into a hallway, you're actually playing a Resident Evil game for a moment. And you have nowhere to go. You've got your ammo is kind of limited in the sense that when your bullets run out, you get them back one bullet at a time, And once you're dealing with managing the priority of like big things that need hacking, little flyers behind you, and you eventually start to work in like, okay, I'm going to put down a trap so these guys can't move. I'm going to use my hack here to activate this like ability that disables multiple. And then, oh shit, actually I don't have time to get my big crit off, so I'm going to jump and dash out of the way to see if I can get a better angle on this person's weak spot. And this whole flow, when you're in it, it feels phenomenal. Getting through that game, the second I got to like the second area of it, and they had some big room challenges where you kind of start to see what the game's going to be like when it's sending waves and waves at you. And the game of just prioritizing and hacking and taking your resources into account when you're reloading, that's your downtime. Think about who to hack next. Like it's just so much fun when it comes together. Great.
Yeah, I like even just like the act of hacking itself, I found felt great.
Yes.
Like, it felt kind of kinetic, and it didn't feel like it was taking place on a separate plane of reality from the rest of the action. Like, the action feels weighty and like very momentum based and just like very kinetic, and the hacking kind of felt the same. And I loved that, you know?
It also really helps, too, that, like, there's little things where, like, dodging and jumping feel great. Jumping and hovering feel great. And when you're in the air, you can aim, and then you get a little hover jet to, like, aim down the sights while floating. You know, it like stuff like that just adds a really cool feel to the combat. And the story is also super basic and straightforward. Like, there's not much to it so far. You know, you are on the moon, you've got a little robot kid with you, and you've got some evil 3D printers that are out here printing out like T100s that you've got to deal with, you know? But something interesting in the second area I saw, and this is something I love about, like, you know, storytelling in mediums, is when we are in a new era now where new experiences inform new ways to display, like, horror and error and, like, spooky ideas. So this thing is about a giant 3D printer. There's a humongous 3D printer that's to print out cities, right? It's this, and like, there's an AI that is nefarious that is printing out all kinds of horrible things that you have to deal with it. When the printing goes wrong, have you ever seen a real 3D printer, what it looks like when it fucks up a machine, a print? The little strips that are on the inside of things, that texture, this game is using that texture to give you a feeling of creepiness. When the city peels away,
cool.
The boundaries of the city peel away to this sterile moon lab, and, like, the peeling is that error 3D printed look that you've only seen now that 3D printing is more common. You know, the lattice that goes inside of certain shapes when you don't want to waste all the block of, like, making it fully solid, you're seeing stuff like that inside the guts of what you're looking at in some of the things in this game. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. We're in a world now where there's a new thing that this couldn't exist before, you know, as a visual cue. But now we get it. It's fun to see a game exploring these new things.
Yeah, no, I've been real excited to get my hands on it, and I think I will actually probably download it this weekend, because it's great to see, like, a new IP and something that seems to be taking its creative swings. Like, I've heard people talk a lot about how the environments are all like, this is what a computer would think a human city is.
Precisely.
And that shit is so cool.
This is what happens when you take the Google Maps data and feed it into GPT and fucking spit out what AI thinks a city would look like. And
yeah,
it's great. It's great so far. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's Pragmata.
Yes.
One of the reasons, Woolie, I've had my eye on this since the demo, and one of the reasons I haven't got to it sooner is because I have been playing a different game. And I can't remember if I said much to you about Romeo is a Deadman.
I think we talked about it, but if we didn't, I have also played some Romeo is a Deadman.
So I'm on the last boss of this game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. This was my most anticipated game of the year. I am a huge Suda51 mark. I've beaten every Suda51 game, many of them multiple times, and I was really, really excited for this game. When I saw the trailer, I was like, that's what I want. Yep, this is thank you, Suda. And especially after No More Heroes 3. I adore No More Heroes 3. I think that's a genuinely underrated action game.
Okay.
So I was really, really excited for this one. And I feel like with Suda, you can kind of you can sort of draw a scale from me to, like, No More Heroes to, is it, oh god, I'm blank, Killer is Dead?
Yeah, sure, Killer is Dead. Yeah.
Killer is Dead is the one where you're the
guy in the
katana
suit
guy.
with the the moon.
Yep,
Killer is Dead.
And I wanted to like Killer is Dead.
I can throw an extra notch beyond that and talk and say Travis Strikes Again personally. I had a rough one with Travis Strikes Again, dude. Did not enjoy
I
that.
would say that Travis Strikes Again is not a phenomenal game. It has phenomenal things in it.
Right.
Yeah,
I've heard.
If you take that game and could take the game part out of it and just experience the wild ride that is that game, I have a fondness for it. But I love No More Heroes.
But it's not the gameplay, right?
It's not the gameplay.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think we did talk about Romeo because I feel like we talked about the mall.
Yeah. And I imagine I was probably a lot higher on that game then than I am now.
I bounced off of it, man. The mall, the navigation,
Dude, you have not seen anything in terms of navigation. Like, so the way every level in Romeo's Deadman works is that there's the level itself, but the level isn't like interconnected. The level will be broken into different areas. And so what you actually have to do is you have to go into subspace, go into this like wireframe alternate reality. And the first time I went into this alternate reality, I was like, oh, this looks fucking cool. Like, it's really weird and dreamy, and it's like all forming around Romeo, and it's like, it's beautiful. I am so fucking sick of subspace because that environment never changes, and you spend so much time trying to figure out which door in the alternate reality you need to go through to teleport. And like, Woolie, the mall is easy compared to like some of the later ones, and it is such a grind.
It feels like it didn't have the time or budget to really make it had to use shortcuts to elongate its time, and one of them is making you have a hard time navigating the levels, and another is, whatever the pixel art ship stuff is like, it's cool, but it is ultimately like more than just a little gimmick. It is the way you navigate the background of that game, and it is you can see they're like, okay, we'll do we can save money on here and there. And I felt like if that's what we're going to save and cut down on, well, the combat should be fucking stellar. And the combat's all right.
It's okay. It's
fine.
The shotgun feels nice.
And so this is where I'm like, if you're not going to give me the ability to, I think I said this last time, to like have a branching moveset that you either progress and unlock, or to make it so that your melee things are more dynamic or your guns have a little bit more going for them, then hey, Pragmata has a hacking mini game that's going to be directing your attention, its way. So it's pretty cool to do both at the same time. There's nothing like that here.
So it does something that like really, it kind of really bothers me when games do this. So there's actually like 8 different weapons, and they all like feel and work very differently, which is cool. That I like that. But the problem is the only way you can level up these weapons is to level up their actual stats. So the attack they do, the stagger they cause, the like charge they give you, and the damage of their special attacks. Those are 4 stats on every weapon. But what that means is once you get basically to the 2nd level, you are going to pour all your experience into the weapon that you like best. And where that becomes a problem is that when you get to a boss where your weapon doesn't suit them, immediately your other options are invalidated because you haven't leveled those weapons up. And so while this game should have like 8 different, like, a combination of a firearm and like a melee weapon to tackle any given boss, it actually you just get locked into your chosen path. And this especially became a problem for me because I was playing the game on hard.
Okay.
I played No More Heroes 3 on hard, and I found that really, really enhanced my enjoyment of it. It made me like, because you could actually do a bunch of crazy shit. Like the combat in No More Heroes 3 is actually kind of fucking rad. Like it you develop all these different powers, and like I was walking into encounters being like, okay, I need to use my telekinesis ability on this guy. I need to freeze this guy. I need to infect this guy with a virus. That'll give me about 4 seconds here where I can run and melee this guy, then grab him, use his supercharge to go back and attack. Like that's how I was thinking with No More Heroes 3. This is not that. This is never that. But so I was playing it on hard.
Oh no, I was gonna say that like tell you what this is though. Hey John, do you like Rick and Morty? do you like Rick and Morty?
You know
do you
what,
like it,
Woolie?
though?
I'm gonna say I'm partial to some Rick and Morty. I like some Rick and Morty.
I
think
like
it's
some
pretty
Rick and Morty
fun.
too. How much are you a fan of Rick and Morty? Are you a huge fan of Rick and Morty?
Not this much. No, not this much, Woolie. Yeah. And you know, so what Woolie's talking about is like there's an emblem on your jacket that is your dead grandpa who's kind of not really dead, and he talks to you, and it's very much Rick from, but like not mean Rick. So it's kind of just a really smart man on your back, and he's not particularly funny. And Woolie, I'm on the last boss, and I feel like you could cut out that aspect of the game and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly it's Rick and Marty. It's like it's the Back to the Future bit,
I
as well
so.
In there, you know, that they're going for, but it's just so heavily involved, you know. That little level up mini game is fun though, where you're moving around in the Pac-Man and your level ups.
It's cool, and then eventually you run out of things to level up, and you're like, okay.
I'm surprised you stuck it out all the way to the last boss though.
See, here's the thing, Woolie. I love Suda so much.
Okay.
And even like there were moments in this game, like there's cutscenes in this game, like the diner cutscenes. In between every chapter, you get a cutscene between Romeo and Juliet. Juliet is like this multi-dimensional woman who keeps like transforming into monsters, and like some of the cutscenes in the game are fucking phenomenal. Like if people want to look up the boss fight of the town hall with the mayor Juliet, just watch the cutscene leading up to that fight. It's awesome. And it's like you do get these moments where like what I fell in love with Suda in like Killer 7, I'm brought back to, oh fuck, that's right, I do love this guy, and I love the way he directs cutscenes, and I love how unrestrained his shit is. And so I ground my way through the entire game, and like it's hard, like on hard especially, it's hard. And then finally I've got to the last boss, and the last boss, it takes about 5 to 8 minutes to shave off all their health.
Okay.
But then right at the end, they start using this massive AoE attack. And the AoE attack fills up the entire arena. You cannot dodge it, you cannot avoid it, and it just kills you. And so I went through this 2 or 3 times, and I really, like, Woolie, I so badly want to be done with this game. And I can't figure out how to avoid it. And so I have to look it up. And the way you avoid it is you have to save your health refills until the boss does this attack. And then you have to, like, chug your refills before your health drains.
Just take the damage and tank it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
all right.
The problem, Woolie, is that I am playing on hard.
Mm-hmm.
And what it means is even with all the maximum health pickups, what determines whether I can beat this boss is how many times it decides to use that attack. So like this is literally a random number generator. It's like if it uses it 2 times, I can survive that. If it uses it 3 times, I can't survive that. Woolie, I think I've spent about 3 hours trying to beat this boss, and it's not like a Dark Souls fight. It's not like where I'm getting closer and I learn something new every time. It's like, well, I hope it doesn't use that attack 3 times, because that just means the fight's over. And Woolie, I'm fucking heartbroken.
I mean,
like,
it's like, because what you're describing has been done in different ways, and in ways that people who make games that are balanced against the combat and very, very precisely like planned out have handled elegantly. For example, Moog in Elden Ring does the Nihil attack, which you can set yourself up for by having the drink ready to go to stop it, or just you can plan for the damage and go in and wail on them. But the problem you're describing here is so emblematic of, like, I guess my Suda experience, unfortunately, because I haven't played all of the Suda games, right? But I do feel like one of the problems I felt here was that it's like the Suda vibe is the reason you're showing up, and the gameplay is incidental. And like I said about Travis Strikes Again and Killer is Dead here, it's like you want the weirdness and the funny tone and the quirky, you know, you're here for all of that interesting, wild, almost Lynchian moments that it goes for. But you then have to sit down and play the thing once all of those moments are done. And when it comes to playing the thing, it's not trying too hard to swing for the fences on a lot of things. And what it is doing, I guess, when it tries to do that, doesn't feel super well thought out, right? Like, I know that we enjoy games that, like, where the combat is like, the combat can be so much better. And how do I put this? You can forgive a game's dog shit story and awful setting when the combat is incredible, right? And sometimes you can do the opposite, but for me, it's way, way harder for a bad game with an incredible setting and story and mood and vibe to stay interesting for me. If the combat bounces me off, and we just talked about The World Ends With You as an example, right? So this is like a tragedy with Suda stuff, because I love the weirdness, but this seems to be a constant problem.
But like even with like the early No More Heroes, I wouldn't say that the combat in No More Heroes 1 or 2 is like great. It's not.
It wasn't
but
much.
It's fun.
It's okay.
It's fun, and like it feels good, but also those levels are basically straight lines where you just run and you streets of rage your way through, like it, and then you get a weird cutscene 15 minutes later. You know, there was a balance to how weird it was versus like the kind of schlocky gameplay in a way I really didn't mind at all. In this, though, it's like, you know, you're spending like an hour plus in these fucking environments, like trying to like, and like the enemies are constantly respawning, and I understand a certain amount of this is on me because I played it on hard, but I also think the hard should be balanced. Like the hard should be pushing your decision making. It shouldn't just be extending the time it takes to kill enemies.
Right. That type of, you're gonna just take the damage, fucking deal with, like, that sucks. So unfun. That I would tap the fuck out. Well, I did, you know. And
like,
and previous
because
like, did you play Shadows of the Damned?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how far you went in that, but like, okay. Was that fun? Did you enjoy? Was it okay?
I would rank it on the like lower half of Suda games, but I still liked it. Like I there was enough and like, I mean, Akira Yamaoka also did the soundtrack, so there was a lot pulling me through that game. But no, I didn't particularly enjoy playing it.
All of the aforementioned games, I started them, went a bit in, and went, okay. It's just, you know, and No More Heroes 1 and 2, I went all the way through, and there it was like the setting is at its most interesting and quirky and weird and fun, but the combat it's all right.
Yeah, and I would say I went back and played No More Heroes about 3 years ago. It is kind of a difficult game to revisit. Like, but yeah, I'm disappointed, dude. Like,
it also has stuff that makes me feel weird, but anyway.
No More Heroes or
No More Heroes, yeah. There's some stuff in there that I'm just like, that's a weird. I hate that first fight of the second fight. Not Nathan Copeland, not the first guy, but the second guy in the second game, and he's throwing the girls at you, and you're like fucking slicing them up to be a super cool, like, look how cool I am, fucking cutting these women up. Yeah, what a bet! Like, it's just
that did
what the fuck are we doing, man? It's just a weird vibe. That shit takes me out of it. But anyway, yeah,
and like it's so dumb, Woolie, because like I loaded up the final cutscene on YouTube, and I was like, I'm just going to watch this. And I've never done that before. I have never watched a game's ending on YouTube ever.
Interesting.
And then I turned it off, and I was like, no, but I don't want to play the fucking game anymore. And it's this sucks. Like at the start of the year, I did a stream for all my most anticipated games, and that was number 1 out of 30. And
Wow! Oh, that's a bummer.
Like Woolie,
that reveal trailer was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I love Suda. Like I just love Suda. I love his shit so much, and oh man, this is a Yoko Taro before Automata's type situation, right? This is a like Suda needs a gameplay czar to team up with, right? Yes.
Yoko Taro was making some fucking incredible stories with gameplay that really, really varied. Drakengard and Nier 1 are fucking old. There's some issues.
Yes, they are.
Know?
Yep.
But boy, is that story incredible.
Even Nier 1, I don't even care that the gameplay sucks because I love those characters.
It's so good though, right? That's what I'm saying.
It's just fucking amazing.
But that's how good this discrepancy I'm describing needs to be. Where I'm like, you need to be Yoko Taro level good with your story in order for the bad gameplay for me to be like, okay, no, fine though. I still respect the shit out of this, right?
And
and that is unfair. That is like no one is that. You know. So you have Platinum coming in on Automata to help with making that combat as fucking sick as it is, and this is what could really help with these games, I think, for Suda.
Yeah, I think so. And like the worst part though is like, okay, put the combat aside, put the bad game design aside, the story, the characters, I don't really know what's fucking going on.
Oh, does
and
the Juliet
vibe,
stuff never get more coherent, or
No,
know.
it definitely does not get more coherent, Woolie.
Okay.
But then then you have those moments like the cutscenes in the diner that I just think are fucking beautiful. But yeah, big sad, Woolie. Big sad.
I did like the moment where you have that super evil time fucker that's the boss of the mall, and the game's like, hey man, you should just kill this guy. Don't listen to a monologue. And you're like, no, I'm going to listen to a monologue. And then you go, oh, I should have killed him faster than this.
That was cool. Like,
that was cool. That was
like
cool.
That are, while you're there. But, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If I may, as we rally back and forth here, something incredible that I experienced recently was the demo for the Eternal Life of Goldman.
Oh, I think I saw Max losing his mind about this.
This game is batshit because you take a look at it for 2 seconds and you will see an animator that is putting so much effort into such simple DuckTales-based gameplay, but the flex of animation on everything moving, especially in that opening cutscene, and every part of every detail and every background, like Cuphead beyond levels of attention to detail.
That's some heavy talk, my friend.
It is, right? And the quality of the animation is so good that you start to get concerned with the health of the people making it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
yep.
Oh, you are neglecting things in life in order to make this look this good. It's insane how gorgeous it is. It's the best looking animated thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't know how to preface it. There's things that are like, you look at and you're like, well, that easily should and could be 3D, and it's not, right? Everything happens the hard way. When a tree falls out of your way that's blocking you, the tree doesn't just fall sideways or down or along any singular axis. It has to fall in a dynamic manner that has to be animated perfectly, frame by frame, in order to. It's just everything. Watching the first couple of seconds shows you the thesis statement for what these people are trying to do. And then there's some stuff going on with it, because it's also, again, it's DuckTales. Simple platforming, and you pogo stick off of stuff, and that's it. There's stuff happening where you're learning about this character who's Goldman, the adventurer, and occasionally the game will pause, and you will hear a mother talking to a child in bed, telling them a story, and the relationship between the child and the parent telling the story about the game you're playing is also really interesting and weird. And you're like, I want to know what's going on with this, you know, because that mom's getting impatient sometimes. And, you know, and the kid's like bringing up stuff that like is like, you know, is getting a little bit real, you know. And so there's a whole like zoomed out aspect to this that is very interesting. So looking to see what's going on here. I will say that playing the demo, it did end on a sour note when the game started to have some pacing issues, and I got kind of stuck in a point where you had to put in a code on a thing that like I didn't have, that was in a place that was not clear to me. And I also felt there were some moments of like the dialogue getting heavy. You got like pace breaking, unfortunately, in a couple of places in that demo where like it's like you're going to slow the whole thing down and just really go through this thing, and you don't really have a grasp for it yet. But that aside, it's awesome. And again, if you enjoyed like at least like if you enjoyed the animation flex of playing Cuphead, check out Goldman. Check out the Eternal Life of Goldman and just watch as somebody neglects either family or their health or something is being neglected to make this game look this good.
Look closely enough and you can see the fragments of a broken marriage.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
So, do you know what you're actually kind of reminded me of, Woolie? Did you ever play Eastward?
No. But I know that's
Eastward,
the other... It's the Mother 3 that wasn't, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's not the Mother 4 that became its own thing, I don't think.
Oh, I thought this was the game that had the blessing of... Mother's creator of Itoi to go and be its own thing or something like that.
It might be. It definitely, if you look at the visual style of it, it looks like a really high production Mother game. Mm-hmm. But Eastward was this game to me. I saw the trailer and I lost my mind. I was like, this is everything I want. And then like I played it and there was cool things about it and I was enjoying it, like every part of it. The only part of it that was not working for me was the pacing. It was so slow, and I ended up just falling off it completely. And I think people do like it, but I have heard several other people have this same problem with it as well. And it's like, man, pacing is such a critical thing, you know?
And you're just the vibe that you're describing something like when I played Everhood, you know, as an Undertale fan. That's another game where I'm like, I should adore the gameplay of this. Is so fucking cool. It's phenomenal. 10 on 10 with that. And then this plot is destroying me. I cannot abide by this plot. It's so fucked to me. Speaking of incredible animation, did you catch that Steel Ball Run?
Sure did.
Have you read Steel Ball Run?
Sure have.
Is Steel Ball Run in high esteem amongst the JoJo parts?
I'm going to be forced to say something real video essay here, so apologies, everyone. Steel Ball Run is not my favorite JoJo part, but it might be the best.
I understand.
Like, it's really hard for me to look at Steel Ball Run, story, characters, the fucking art. It's nearly impossible for me not to be like, I mean, this is the best JoJo part. Like, it just is.
I understand.
Like, it's incredible.
Blanca is not my favorite Street Fighter character, but he's the one I'm the best with. Yeah.
I think it's the one you can just see Araki absolutely hit his creative zenith after like 30 years of making manga. He basically stands up, dusts himself off, and he's like, okay, everyone, I'm gonna try now. It's like...
Oh, fuck. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's exactly what it is. That's so true. It's Araki going, all right, time to actually put some work in.
Wait, Were you guys taking this seriously?
Fuck. Oh, because I mean, look, Steel Ball Run is my favorite JoJo, right? But
Totally fair.
What I can say is for David Production taking this on, there's a weird surreal quality to. I talked about being at this place in life, going there at some point we're going to be watching horses, and it's going to be like 10 years from now, but I'll be there. And
I remember the specific conversation I've had with friends. Me and Brian from LFAB used to always joke about this. And now we're here.
Well, for now. We might be here for a while based on the release schedule. But I fucking felt that, like, for a studio like David Production, who has done this for every part up until now, they've done an excellent job. And the only problems with JoJo I've had have been on behalf of the release schedule with Netflix and stuff like that. That they are crushing it with this one. I thought that all the things I was hoping to see, they changed and edited down that first, leg, but did such a good job with it. And like, they're all good pacing changes that I actually appreciate. I felt like you're watching them flex with their animation quality, and there's moments where that last leg of the race of stage 1, when the whole track starts glowing beneath them and everyone is being lit from underneath, it looks unbelievable. There's a moment where Gyro throws out the steel balls and you start to see dot tone effects happening on the explosion around him and stuff, and it's just like they're going so hard on this, and it deserves it.
The way they capture the weight and momentum of the steel ball attack specifically, I get so excited whenever he's going to use it.
Yeah,
it's been a weird one with JoJo. Did you watch the anime for part 5 and 6?
Yep.
Because I felt like part 5 is kind of the peak of the JoJo anime. I thought it was gorgeous all the way through. I had a lot of problems with part 6.
Interesting. I thought 4... I enjoyed 4's look more than 5, actually.
So
I think Moriocho as a setting has a lot more interesting, fun things happening.
But here's what I'd say, right? I think that part 4 stylistically is the strongest part. I think that's when they pushed it furthest away from like the kind of conventional look of JoJo and kind of did their own thing and did all this weird shit with like color direction, the pink skies, the blue grass,
all
like
of it.
and like the very kind of soft character designs. Like it's like, yeah, I think stylistically, like, it's my favorite. I thought the animation specifically in part 5 was unfucking believable. Like, so many of those aura attacks are like the best they've ever done. The bit where Zerno and Mista do like the combined tree gunshot into the helicopter, and like, unbelievable.
The punch,
and then, like,
the punch fest, the chocolata punch, Muda Muda punch fest. Yeah,
so good. And then like how they did the, even just how I felt like they genuinely improved like the King Crimson fight by actually making it understandable.
Yeah, you know what? You are right. I think I just have a weight on it that like part 5, there's disappointing aspects of it to me that are like plot related and character related, where I'm like, I don't find Diavolo the most compelling villain, especially by comparison to Kira, and I don't find Giorno lives up to the potential of who he ought to be. And I feel like it should have been the Bruno hour because, I love him so and Mista so much more than Giorno.
Yeah.
So I kind of put some weight on that part,
Without this becoming a JoJo podcast, I actually felt the same as you before I did my video on part 5. And then when I really looked at like what Giorno's meant to be, and even like what Diavolo's meant to be, it's like Giorno isn't meant to be like the hero. He's meant to kind of complement the other characters, because this idea that like other people are what can change your destiny and other people are the only things that can kind of save you from a bad life. And then you look at Diavolo, and he's this person who has like literally hidden inside his own body so that no one can ever know who
his
he is.
true, yeah.
And like
That is interesting. Yeah.
Individually, I like the Evolo way less than Kira and Dio. But I mean, also, how the fuck are you meant to follow Kira and Dio? Like, what are you meant to do?
Pick another era of David Bowie's life.
Yeah. But I like part 5 as a whole because I do think it's saying something like really interesting. But yeah, and then like with the anime for part 6, I felt like there were so many of those auras that I would like. The baseball aura is my all-time favorite, and I was so excited to see how they were going to do that.
Balls
and then
deep.
when we got to it,
Yeah.
it felt pretty lackluster. So I was going into part 7 kind of being like, and I actually talked about this in my video. I talked a lot about why I didn't think part 6 looked very good. An animator of part 6 got in contact with me.
Oh.
And and she basically explained that a lot of part 5 was done like pro bono by animators who just loved part 5 because part 5 is so beloved in Japan.
It is.
And that same support was not there for part 6. This animator sent me like Genga drawings as proof of that they were who they said they were.
Holy shit. Okay.
I'm not gonna release those drawings obviously because like this person kind of came to me in confidence, so I'm not gonna like blow that. So if people want to take this with a grain of salt, absolutely go for it.
Okay.
But that, and I guess I'm just happy to see the part 7. I don't know if it's quite hitting the heights of part 5 animation wise for me, but it's strong. Like it is strong.
Okay. I mean, I see potential for where future things that happen in this part can be some of the most insane and most impressive things that David Production ever does. But what I can say so far is that like I love the edits, I love the pacing and the way they fit the whole thing into that one. Like I couldn't believe that they got all of it into one episode. And there were some choices pertaining to like some of the voice actors that I really, really love. And I'll just say that. I think I'm really excited for this adaptation. And it's going to take a while, but impressive first showing so far.
Yeah. I have a feeling this will not be the last time we talk about the part 7 adaptation.
And I just remember too with part 5, I'm like, you know what? Like Sleeping Slaves, that final chapter with the Rolling Stones, like does add a lot.
It does. And like that's where
it saves that in a lot of ways.
That to me is kind of where like you take the ideas brought up in that chapter and then you go back through part 5 and it's like, oh, I see what we're doing here. Yeah, no, this and like in a way I think it nearly comes together more than other parts. But I also agree with you. I think individual parts of it are less compelling than other JoJo parts. But yeah, it's super interesting.
Or like the blatant mistakes like Fugo, where you're just like, you did not plan for this power level to be present on the team. Like you just didn't,
Fugo, go read that light novel, I guess. Like,
all right. This could easily become the JoJo podcast.
Yeah.
We do have to get to it. Let's.
Where a JoJo podcast could potentially exist at some point, Woolie. It's the Intermission Lounge.
The lounge. Perfect place for that. Indeed.
Listener, you might... I know that most of our listeners basically sit there every month and there's no way a better podcast could exist than Versus Wolves, right? Like, it's just obvious. The Intermission Lounge is not better, but it's close. It's real close.
We say it all the time, but literally this last episode, there were questions where we had to sit down and just open up our souls, There were a couple questions on the last one where we had to open up our souls and bear them and just talk about some of the shit we've been through and how we feel about that. And it just goes that way, I suppose, Some of the questions that come in are fun and lighthearted, and some of the questions that come in are real shit. And, sitting down at the bar, you can talk all forms of light and heavy, so...
Yeah, and there is an element of it where it's like, okay, you know what? I want to answer this question, and I don't want 100,000 people to hear it, So it's like...
That's not a bad idea either. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But you would actually get your own opportunity, and I mean you specifically, Woolie. If you become a patron, and I'm selling you on this, Woolie. If you become a patron for the Intermission Lounge, you could have your question answered by both me and you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. That's an incredible value. And every month even.
Every month you get an additional Versus Wolves podcast, the Intermission Lounge, where you could ask a question like our good patron, Liter of Milk here. Dear Woolie and John, after dabbling in fighting games for many years, I've recently jumped into the deep end with Street Fighter 6, replicating techniques I've practiced in the lab against real opponents, getting completely bodied by better players and walking away inspired rather than frustrated. I'm now at the stage where it feels like a light bulb switched on. I could feel the improvements happening in real time. My question for each of you is, what's a formative memory you have of a fighting game? When things really started to click for you? Was it learning a specific technique, perfecting a combo, or perhaps acquiring a piece of gear that shifted your experience?
So I think the kind of there's the ones that's kind of obvious at the front is like, okay, fighting Daigo at Evo was a hilarious moment, but one that it was interesting because I've talked about this a couple other times. In short, when fighting him, I was kind of like, people were like, were you nervous? Were you freaking out? I was like, no, not at all. It's a Ryu player. It's a Ryu. Treat it like that, like any other matchup that you're going to be fighting against. And I fought against others that were actually stronger and way more nutty and had way more I got way blown the fuck out way harder in the night before as well. We kind of grinded it out. I fought every Ryu I could come across of all the top players and then Japanese players, Korean players, etc. And kind of just, learned to approach things and go like, well, whatever, if there's a name, if it's star power, if there's anything like that, it doesn't matter. You still have to show up here and do your job, and there's a way to approach it. And in a lot of cases, like people who are really famous and known for being good at these games, almost like there's a pressure that comes from, like, there's a power they have where they know that you are feeling their reputation, and you're cracking under the weight of that, and just not letting that affect you because you're just like, you're locked in and doing your thing is a very important skill to learn back then, especially. But I think the most formative memory I have that was huge in terms of shifting my perspective was I was playing Street Fighter 4 with Snafu, really, like basically strongest Dalsim player in Canada, and went on to do a lot of cool things competitively outside. And we played back at this barcade that we would have weekly meetups at, and playing what we would call first to death sessions, where you're grabbing a beer and you and your friend are just sitting down and you're going like first to 100, like first to 5 a.m. We're just grinding, And
I have done one first to 100 in a fighting game ever, and that was a borderline spiritual experience.
It's crazy the things you go through in this journey. And this is not for everybody. This is not a reasonable thing to even present to anyone who's just like showing up to be like, yeah, I want to see what's fun about these games and play them. This is like, we're people who would play, travel, go to Evo in Vegas and try to compete. So we're trying to really, really get good. And you're trying to be like, world-class competitive at the game. Therefore, you're putting this type of effort in. And we did these types of sessions. And I remember I was playing Blanca. He was playing Dalsim. And we just played such a long set that at the end of it, the things you develop, the counter strategies that like happen there's a conversation happening through this 15 matches, and then a response that begins as of match 16 through 30, right? You know what I mean? And then around the 50 mark, we start to kind of hit an even ground and then discover things about this and that that weren't clear. And I remember walking into that going, this matchup is impossible because Blanca can't get in on Dalsim, it feels completely lopsided and unfair. And by the end of it, I had learned to compensate for all of those weaknesses that I felt so confident fighting this character that I basically am like, I'm never going to struggle to any other player of this character ever again in this game, because I know this matchup in my soul, you know? And it just, I'm so thankful for sets I'd ran with him and Chai Rithi as well, another player from here. Some of the guys that we got to play games with and that would just be willing to do that long set with you. You walk out of that just feeling so much more. It's like a jam session playing music with somebody and then hitting the zone with it, and you're kind of just moving and playing together. Like, it doesn't feel competitive after a certain amount of matches. You know, it feels like a dance. It feels cooperative because you're both fighting each other to learn more about your characters and your own abilities together, so that you're challenging and coming up with gimmicks that are like, oh, that'll work here and it'll work again, but is it going to work the 10th time? You know, what do you have beyond that? What's next? You have to come up with things that you couldn't possibly. I fucking love that time so much, and it meant so much to me and taught me about these games in a way that I never would have experienced otherwise.
Yeah. No, that is awesome. And the match I did first to 100 with was Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate on the Xbox.
I would not have pegged that as the pick. That's great. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I could do. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about Dead or Alive, Woolie, but those games. Listen, dude. At some point, you're 15.
I know.
You got your first PlayStation.
I respect something about them. Despite them being the full-on titty gaming era, I respect the fact that they have a very unique combat system that has strikes, it has throws, and then it has the catches, which other games don't implement as freely as this one does, where it's like, it's that little triangle, of and combat.
Like, since DOA 2, they have had like crazy levels of contextual animations with throws changing when they're like next to walls in a way that's so dynamic and cool. Anyway, so like I'd say like the big fighting game memory for me was seeing Street Fighter Alpha 3 the first time and it warping my DNA and just being like, this, I want to see more of this forever. Like, this art, these character designs, these colors, this music, this is stylistically what I love. Like, even like the comic, Eyepatch Wolves, so much of that is Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Oh yeah, it's clear.
It's just, yeah, and like, I love that. But like, I've talked about that before. But I don't know. I think I have a lot of great memories. I remember when I was growing up, there was this girl across the road from me, and she was like 6 years younger than me, but her parents would like just send her over, and I'd be like, oh, hey Lisa, okay, cool, let's play. And she loved Smash, and she was like, when she started coming over, she was like 8 years old, and then it got to the point where like she was like 14 and I was like 20. And in the point of those years, I was just teaching her to play Smash constantly. Like, over the course of years and years and years, dozens of matches, maybe hundreds of matches. The first time she beat me legit, like, I think we hugged. Like, it was like, oh my, and like years in the making, you know?
Yeah.
And that was so fucking cool. But I always remember when I imported Smash Brawl and I didn't tell her, and I had to get like a region breaking disc, and I sent her a message and I was like, hey Lisa, do you want to play some games of Smash tonight? And she's like, cool, I'll be over at 9. And she came over and I had it set on the Star Fox level, Corneria,
yeah.
And I had her character picked for her, and my character picked, because I wanted to see how soon she would notice that this was Brawl.
Oh, wow, cool, okay. Same setup, but just, oh shit, wait, hold on a minute. Yeah. Nice.
I unpause the game. She looks at me and she goes, "Oh my god!" And, I still see Lisa from time to time.
That's great.
And we reminisce about Smash like still, and she's super cool.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, those would be two of the big ones for me, I think.
Thank you, Liter of Milk.
Thank you, Liter of Milk. Woolie.
We should probably say that Intermission Lounge can be found on patreon.com/versuswolves podcast.
We got a few tiers there for whatever your needs may be. And I love recording the lounge. It is
great.
such a pleasure.
To business then?
To business, Woolie.
All right.
So, Woolie. I wanted you to have a good time with this recommend. That was very important to me because, sometimes I feel like, after Fear and Hunger, that you deserved a nice time. And I don't know that I could think of a nicer time than The Simpsons Season 7. And one of the reasons I wanted to recommend this, Woolie, is because me and you haven't actually talked about The Simpsons a lot, have we?
Not really, no. I mean, it's there for me, and it's formative as it has been for everybody. I'm not Matt, right? So it's not like the cornerstone of my existence. But
and I would say, to a degree, Woolie, I am Matt.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I genuinely think The Simpsons, 1 to 9 or whatever, maybe the greatest TV show of all time.
Here's what I will say, going and watching this is, I never really doubted it, but it did reconfirm for me that this shit is still fucking hilarious. Unbelievably good writing.
I don't think I had a single episode that didn't have me guffawing out loud at one point.
Now,
but what kind of struck me a bit is we can go through all of this, but on a top level, what struck me as well is how emotional it could be in places, and how some of the I don't know, did some of the political humor to you
yeah,
and you're like,
I watching it now, right? There's an immigration episode, right? Little bits where they're I remember the joke about what does the cash register say when Maggie gets swiped? It says NRA forever. Another one of those crazy right-wing jokes from Matt Groening's crazy references from Matt Groening, And I'm looking at that now going oh geez, here we are, there's definitely stuff where I'm no, I remember this joke, but I didn't have enough context. I got the joke at the time, but I didn't get it, So
the bit that got me is in that episode where Itchy and Scratchy gets cancelled, and they have that bit about the amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what that was at all.
Bill on Capitol Hill.
Now, and it's basically the Trump administration condensed down into a minute segment, right down to, and if he disagrees, I'll say that he's gay. It's that is what they do.
And then everyone gets in at the last bit when they're come on, yeah. It's crazy. But so with season 7 in particular, here's what I did notice watching it was this. Because this was the season from 1995 to 1996, right? Or 96 to 97, something like that. It was 96, right?
I think it's 96 to 97, but I don't know.
And, so looking into it as well, this is apparently the first season where some new producers and showrunners took over that were there since season 3. And they decided that they wanted to tell stories that were more focused on the members of the family than just broad Springfield as a whole. So that's kind of where some of that direction was. So it was okay, this is interesting. Starting it out with Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2, I remember that. I remember the bits with Maggie and then everything, and all these little flashbacks coming to mind. But things that I did that my brain filtered out and deleted at the time, I'm now watching back and getting, which is the Red Room reference when Lisa walks in and does the Twin Peaks talk, and I'm like, oh, I get this part now. I completely deleted that from my mind up until this point, but hey, thanks to Versus Wolves, I can say I get that. Obviously, right after that, you go Radioactive Man.
Okay, so there's a number of episodes in this season that I rate a 10, and Who Shot Mr. Burns is kind of a 10 to me because that was such an amazing thing. Radioactive Man, that's 22 minutes of perfect fucking television.
It's like, I just hit that one, and I remember watching it, and I remember, like, of course, the staples that become, like, cultural mimetic fucking cornerstones. The goggles do nothing, right?
Yep.
Hits just as well as it always did. Not to mention Milhouse just getting X-rayed blasted in the face at full strength, is great. And I was like, yeah, cool. That was this season too. Okay. And then right after that, Home Sweet Home Dudley Doodley is the bit where they lose custody, but Marge and Homer lose custody of Bart and Lisa, and they go to live with the Flanders. And that's the one where saxophone comes from. I was like, oh, that was here too. Okay. And as I'm watching, I'm like, oh shit. Every single major memory of The Simpsons culturally appears to have happened in this season, to the point where it's almost like, yeah, if you could pick this one, and it's like this covers all of it. I thought that all of these memories I have of these jokes and moments were spread across, like, not season 1 or 2 or whatever, because I wasn't watching that early, but I wasn't allowed to. But at least 3 up to 30 or wherever the zombie era begins, there was a feeling of, or somewhere in the teens, I thought that all the jokes were just this widespread thing across 20 years of television. And it turns out we're so concentrated here. The episode after that saxophone is Bart Sells His Soul. And
which, again, another 10 out of 10 episode as far as I'm concerned.
And I'm like, oh, that's the one where the subplot of Bart Sells His Soul is Moe turning it into the family diner. Here I am while you eat. Thank you, man. This will be a treat, like that whole bit, right? And then the stink lines and everything, the jokes that are like definitive that we bring back like every fucking time I record. Like Alf Pogs, the laughing street sweeper.
Okay,
right?
Laughing street sweeper, I think that's a candidate for best joke in The Simpsons. Because like it's amazing. Because like it happens and it's like there's so many little steps to it, because it's like, so Bart is like cycling along and then he nearly gets run over by the street sweeper, and then the street sweeper actually just like cleans his bike, and it's like, okay, that's funny. And then he gets on his bike and he's like, finally some good luck, and it's like, and then he cycles along, his bike collapses. That's funny. And then he looks back at the street sweeper, and he's like leaning out the window going, and it's like, what the fuck is that guy's problem? And then that guy falls down a subway stair, and it's like, these are like 4 funny jokes fucking stacking
that
and
was
stacking.
Super dense. Yeah, that was the super dense laugh. And yeah, that was like all, right away, back to back to back. And I was kind of just like, oh, wow, I didn't realize there was a combo that started here, And then the first episode that I highlight or marked here, Lisa the Vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, man. Because that's where she becomes a vegetarian. And, that was, I remember, because it's like, yeah, that was the one with Paul McCartney. From back in the day. And he only agreed to do it if she stayed a vegetarian, You know, that was one of those things where
Oh, I didn't know that.
they got all the Beatles prior to that episode, but he only did it if for that reason that they said she's going to change to being a vegetarian, and he said okay, but she has to stay one forever, you know, and so that's why they showed up. But that's the fucking episode with the cute sheep getting kicked out of the way. I thought you loved me, right? Charmed, a googly doogly, right? For me, one of the best jokes in the entire fucking franchise, which is, for me, it's independent thought alarm, right? That floors me every time. And again, same episode. The extra B stands for BYOBB, right? That's a typo. You don't make friends with salad. The entire Troy McClure Killing Fields short film, right? That don't let the name fool you. It's more of a sluice for great with a great for me. The gorilla fucking reaching for the banana and a shark grabbing them. The fire starter fluid, like hot beef injections. It's still good. It's still good. Like, that's all one episode, and I'm like, that was 22 minutes. That's insane. Those jokes are like so big and they're referenced so often everywhere. And like, I couldn't believe that was all here. This episode is crazy, man.
Can I tell you the fucked up thing about what you're saying, Woolie? So for a video like 2 or 3 years ago, I went back and watched season 6, had the exact experience you are describing.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I guess all the jokes from The Simpsons are just from season 6. And then when I was watching this, it was all coming back to me. That is how massive the cultural cachet and impact of The Simpsons is. Every one of these seasons is, like, you might think that they're all here. Trust me, there are so many of these that you cannot keep them in your head all at once.
Okay, so 7 is not special, is what you're saying.
I mean, 7 is one pellet in the cataclysmic cultural shotgun blast that is this era of Simpsons.
Because the truth is like, going through this, and like, I'm just looking at like the notable moments, and I'm like, this is almost everything I have in my brain, you know. And I'm sure there probably are more, but like, there's some like there, like, I feel like the vast majority of what I know, or what gets referenced often, is based on this. I did kind of I was curious about season 6, and I was just kind of browsing to see, like, was there anything like this? And scrolling through it, I think the one that stood out to me was which was it? Bart's girlfriend, and was there one other episode in there that hit hard like that?
Oh, okay, dude. Can I just take you through?
Bleeding Gums Murphy. Bleeding Gums Murphy is a big one too. Yeah.
So, Bard of Darkness, the episode where they get a pool, and it's the whole Rear Window.
Can we have a pool deck? Yep.
Itchy and Scratchy Land.
What's a big
where they go to Itchy and Scratchy Lands? More Bort license plates.
Bort, yes. Okay, right. Bort. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. You have the Treehouse of Horror 5. That's maybe the best one. That's the Shinning. That's where the teachers want to eat their pupils. Lisa on Ice, the hockey episode. That's one of the all-time greats.
Okay, don't really have that one as committed to brain.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, when I look through some of these at a glance, I definitely like. I don't have the same effect just scrolling through them, but I'd have to like watch it.
Okay. I mean, what I will say, dude, if you ever want to go through that, you are in for an incredible time. So, season 6 like on in like the review aggregates is more highly rated than season 7.
Interesting. Okay. But I guess I'd have to verify and look, because I'm not sure if at a glance I would have been able to.
I think if you started watching it, a lot of the jokes would come back.
Perhaps, because in this case, the feeling I got, like, Lisa the Vegetarian, I like was floored with how dense and how many moments of that were like culturally significant. The one right after that was Treehouse of Horror 6, and that was the 3D Homer. I definitely remember as a kid, because I remember seeing 3D around the time when I was being impressed with like Reboot and stuff, and like seeing that and going like, oh wow, holy shit, okay, they're going for the bit here. And I also remember like this isn't big culturally, but there's just on a personal level, the picking up the carpet when Selma and Patty are coming over, and like Santa's little helper and the cat are underneath there, and they're like, "Arr!" And they're like, that's our hiding place, fuck you. That always got me. Erotic cakes, right? And right after that is another probable like contender for one of the best episodes ever for me, King Size Homer.
Oh,
right. That's probably, it might be like that was so, because I remember dying laughing at that one as a kid. Where's the any key? Hey, fatty, I got one for you. A fridge too far. Like, it's your fingers are too fat for this phone. If you need a dialing wand,
yeah,
it's insane, you know. And then the ones that I'm like, I remember in my head what lived rent free, and I forgot about it, and this brings it all back. Is 3 high ya 2 high ya. The Iroquois twists, you know. I just like that fucking episode is massively like dented in my brain as like I laughed beginning to end at that one. Mother Simpson, I didn't. I remember Homer's mom being an episode. I remember the commercials previewing that it was coming up this Sunday on Fox or whatever. But in terms of bits and jokes from it, going past that, the 138th episode Spectacular, that one
I adore this episode.
I didn't realize something. Whenever people asked what my favorite couch gags were, I had two answers. One was running up to the couch and Santa's little helper is like, "Arr!" And they're just like, whoa, 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 hey, just the backing off. And the one that like, just, I don't know what it is. It's just something about the style of humor. But as they run towards the couch and the wall just keeps going back forever.
You mean the one where it becomes a liminal space?
Them chasing the couch into the distance forever just fucking gets me. Like, I don't know why that one is so funny compared to all the rest. It just is.
I think there's something there about it, though, where it's like, there is something a bit surreal about The Simpsons. Like, there is this weird surreal quality running through so many of the episodes, you know? Like, Troy McClure's sexual leanings.
Yeah.
Like, it's so... But then, like, occasionally, like, you know, there's parts where, like... there's parts where characters will, like, fall into alternate realities and stuff, and it's, like, it's so... strange, and I feel like that couch gag kind of echoes that feeling about The Simpsons.
So I didn't realize that like both of those moments, like those what you're describing totally happens, and that's one of them. And both of those moments, those gags, are from this special when they collect them together. I didn't realize. I'm like, oh, that's part of this compilation alongside episodes that I didn't see, but that. The clips from this I remember, like Homer eating the chips in space, and Yeah, the dogs with the bees in their mouth, all that stuff. Which popular Simpsons characters died this last?
They were never popular.
I mean, that shit is like, fuck, I super remember that. And of course, the like hardcore nudity. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. That song is baked into the culture because of that one bit,
There's one bit from this episode that made me like melt down. And it's when they show a bunch of old Simpsons episodes, like pre-season 1.
Yeah.
And like they're great. Like I love how those episodes feel,
Bed
and they're
bugs?
really strange. Yeah, they're really like cute or something. I don't know. But then like it cuts back to Troy McClure, and you get like a second of.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck was that? Yep.
And it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
It's
and
like
all the like the picture of Sam Simon, and he's like this monster in a hospital bed with these giant claws just typing episodes.
No, it's the same face that Krusty makes when they cut to like Russian Itchy and Scratchy. Yeah.
Like, oh,
what the hell? What the fuck was that? Right after that one, I mean, this is also, I highlight this all-time classic. It's the fucking Bone Storm episode, right? Marge Be Not Proud. Like, I mean,
I watch this episode every Christmas.
Yeah,
I've probably seen this episode like 20 times.
I mean, look, video game people, like, the Bone Storm episode is humongous. That's a given. That's a slam dunk. The fucking Mario and Sonic in Simpsons form running around, as him and stuff. Thrill
I
House.
Also say maybe the best one-time Simpsons character, the security guard.
Oh, he's pretty good. Yeah.
I just love like today he's stealing video games. Tomorrow he could be stealing people's houses and lakes or something like that. And there's a bit where like it cuts away, and he's like his breadstick breaks off. He just goes, oh, lousy breadsticks. Like, oh, this man.
Yeah, I mean, we've referenced Lee Caravallo's putting challenge like infinite times, but
oh god, yeah,
right, that's a classic. But that's also the episode with "Hello, Mudda, hello, Fada, here I am at Camp Granada." Cup and Ball Hog is from this episode. Mom, Bart's swearing. Out.
I don't know why, but Marge's line, "You can't run from me, Bart. I spend 23 hours a day in this house." That always stuck with me so much.
Yeah.
Okay, Woolie, I want to get specific with you here. What would, like, if you had to pick 4 episodes from this season?
Oh, I'm giving you them, really, because
okay.
Well, I didn't realize after watching the one after this, by the way, I didn't realize that Revelations, Pimply Teenager is Doris the Lunch Lady's son.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Here I am learning, see the deep lore, even though I flipped through the lore book back in the day. Anyway, yeah, and I can just keep going, right? But as you go down the list, like Disco Stew, next episode, These Aren't Reptile Eggs, next episode, oh crap, I shouldn't have said illegal, right?
I love that bit, yeah.
Next episode, Cromulent, Embiggens. It's just like back to back, the Planet of the Apes musical.
I think cromulent has become a borderline word.
Yes.
Again, I hear people use that.
So I used it the other day, and you made a face like, I see what you're doing there. And I'm like, no, actually, I use the word cromulent regularly as a normal word. It's not a reference to The Simpsons when I use it. I say cromulent as an actual thing. And words from The Simpsons have become, they're in the dictionary. They've been adopted, and the Websters took them all in. So like Embiggens is a word now, You gentlemen gonna buy some wigs, or ain't you?
That's it. Back to Winnipeg.
So all of that. And then, of course, legendary, This Is the Season with steamed hams. Right? This is the season it comes from. 22 short films about Springfield.
And like you watch it, and it's like there's like an irreverency to the whole like steamed hams thing, and like I love it. It's like one of my favorite memes of all time. I like that it's kind of pure. You can't really do anything like fucked up or racist with it. It just is what it is. It takes a lot of creativity to do right. It's a high effort meme. It's awesome.
I mean, don't put the challenge out there.
No, that's true. They will do some, but then you go back and you're like, oh, the reason this is such a big thing is because this is like 80 seconds with like 20 jokes, and they're all funny.
Yep. And that episode is that as a whole, jumping around is phenomenal, right?
That is another like so we're talking about the 22 short films about Springfield, where every minute is a new story and with like a different character from around Springfield, and it is again a borderline perfect episode of television.
In terms of like just doing unique storytelling and experimental storytelling for like a primetime cartoon on TV, I respect the shit out of like going for something like that and being weird and like landing it, nailing it. What like one of the best episodes by far of the season, and yeah, I highlighted that. That's one of my 5 for sure. And yeah, towards the end of the episode towards the end of the season were the ones that I actually remembered less. So I don't remember the flying hellfish. I
love that episode.
I didn't. So this is where I was like, I didn't remember much of Pooh About Nothing and stuff. Cypress Hill, I'm looking in your direction, right? That I did have. But overall, like that first chunk was just an insane density. So yeah, in terms of like the standouts for me, 22 short films about Springfield, Marge Be Not Proud, specifically the Bone Storm and all that segment as well. The 138th episode Spectacular, just rent free, so many jokes there, so many classic bits. But it's gotta be King Size Homer and Lisa the Vegetarian. Those I think are my favorite episodes. I just can't believe how insanely nonstop the jokes are.
So for me, I would say that one of my all-time favorites is Summer of Lisa.
Yeah.
And that's where I just think that episode has so much heart and really like kind of it gets at like the loneliness of Lisa in a way that I think is really sincere, but gets to show her in like this other way as well. I love that episode. Like to me, like there's episode, and I don't think it has the best jokes. I think it has a lot of good jokes, but maybe not up there with some of the other episodes we've talked about. But I just think the actual storytelling is really beautiful in that episode.
It is. And I did appreciate the like, it's like, hey, she's using my catchphrases. Ay, caramba. Oh, you haven't said that in 3 seasons.
Yeah. I really loved The Day Violence Died. And that's the Itchy and Scratchy episode.
The creator of Itchy and Scratchy. Yeah, that one.
And specifically, that episode has one of my favorite endings ever in a Simpsons episode, because like Bart and Lisa figure out how to bring Itchy and Scratchy back.
Yes.
And then another kid comes along,
Melvin.
called Lester.
Melvin?
It's Lester.
Okay.
Lester and Liza.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's this really weird where like all of a sudden Bart has a doppelganger in the town, and they're like, wait, what's happening? And then the last shot is him skateboarding by Bart's house, and it just like zooms in on him real sinister, and it cuts to credits, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? I love
it's season 1 Bart, right?
Yep,
that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they're specifically going for anything like too specific with Lester, because I've tried to think, okay, is he meant to be like an animated knockoff of Bart? But that doesn't really make sense the way they kind of stage him in the story. I think they're just being fucking weird.
No, I think they're just being goofy, and I think they're just kind of establishing almost like almost like how Disney characters went from the rubber hose era into the modern era, that like, yeah, the old Bart and old Lisa still exist and they're not the same characters at all, but here they are, they're different people and you know who they are, but nobody else does. What happened to that old family, you know?
And I remember like watching this back in the day and just having like my mind blown, because it's like, wait, the protagonists didn't solve the problem, and that's just like not making sense to me. And and
again, the fact that you're referencing is it's about old animation and it's about the rubber hose era, and so they're going back to like how the Simpsons has its own like or earlier footprint. And I can't speak to like modern seasons, but does he ever show up again?
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's the one bit.
I mean, he might show up in like seasons 15 to 30 something. I don't know, because sometimes they do bring old characters back. I bet they didn't bring him back.
And I want to say too that like I feel like the Planet of the Apes musical is like, as a standout clip, has been everywhere you go in life, people are singing Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Like, it's just definitive. So,
could I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before.
Oh my God, I was wrong. It was Earth. All
along.
You know,
it's so good.
So I guess just walking away, I'm like, the impression I got was, I thought you basically said, I thought you basically went, go watch The Simpsons, and you will realize that everything you know about The Simpsons and every reference you've ever made comes from one insanely strong season.
Nope.
That wasn't it. Okay.
No.
Okay.
So the reason I wanted to pick this was a couple of these. So basically, when people talk about the golden age of The Simpsons, that's an extremely subjective thing. And like, if you talk to people in the generation below us, you will find exactly how subjective it is. But generally, it's considered loosely, you could say it's season 1 to 10. Getting tighter, you could say it's seasons 3 to 9. But the two most highly rated seasons are season 6 and season 7. And among season 3 to 9, you kind of have this gradient where in season 1 and 2, The Simpsons is very sentimental. It's still like kind of wacky and silly, but it's much more about like the family drama in a lot of ways. And from there to season 10, you get this gradient of like drama going to comedy, going to kind of slapstick, kind of outlandish comedy, and then you just shoot off into the stratosphere, into the darker days of The Simpsons, I would say.
Okay.
But generally, no matter what way you define the golden age of Simpsons, no one leaves out season 6 and 7.
Okay.
And I had already watched season 6, and so I was like, okay, I want to go into this fresh again. I want to reevaluate season 7. And that's the main reason. I think if you went back and watched season 6, I think if you watched season 8, it would undo this idea you have that all the memes are from this season, because you would see them. Okay.
I haven't rewatched Simpsons in a lifetime, right? This is the first time I've revisited it.
Ever?
I mean...
Wow, okay, yeah.
Since childhood, you know. I mean, clips on the internet get shared everywhere, and you quote it long enough that it becomes part of the culture, but... Yeah,
I would say, realistically, I am on probably, with the exception of the ones that I will watch more, I'm probably on rewatch 3 or 4 of this season.
Okay. I mean, I will say that like when I still watched TV, like appointment television, that there were still running reruns of these old episodes. So like I would still catch it that many times, often enough. You know, like it's not. I've seen these episodes countless times. Up until a point, but then we enter the era of like torrents and watch what you want, and then like that's where I just never went back, you know. Yeah, it is interesting. So you kind of are saying, so then in the end, 6 and 7 are always there. This might even be a Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 3 type situation. or a Sonic 2 or Sonic 3 type situation.
And I would even extend it out, Woolie. Like, realistically, if you want more of this, seasons 3 to 9 will all serve you well. Like,
but you
they
are not. But you're not saying that this is the best season.
I mean, it's in contention.
Okay.
Season 6 is more highly rated, and I might lean slightly more towards season 6, and that's because of episodes like Lisa on Ice, Treehouse of Horror 5,
Okay.
the Itchy and Scratchy Land, Bard of Darkness. Like, those to me are like the best episodes.
I guess I'm just like, yeah, I'd have to go and hit it, but like my favorite jokes of all time were all here. And I also am thinking that a big part of what reinforces that is like the stuff that Matt used to quote back in the day is all here.
I promise you,
this comprehensive list, so
if you go back to season 6, you will see
you hit the same thing. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But anyway,
let's rank this sumbitch.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You asked for it. You're gonna get it. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get it.
Okay.
Simpsons season 7 in the liminal zone.
God damn it. Okay, Woolie, can we talk about the liminal zone for a second? There is a little part of me.
What's this? What's this? Hold on, wait.
Does this have to? Can things only enter the liminal zone in Grand Theft Auto?
No, not necessarily. But I'm curious to know.
Let me just bring this up to the council. Does Twin Peaks season 1 belong in the liminal zone?
Okay, no, like, okay. There is a contingency that is out there that feels an immense injustice at the idea that Berserk is removed from competition in an almost Roman Reigns-like fashion. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that part of what makes this living, breathing list work is that we both feel some injustice at some of these positions. I think that is baked in to the nature of this list, especially considering I fucking hate lists. And
this list is by nature a compromise.
It is. And I hate everything that era of YouTube represents. But
I think that era exists in your mind, but not in reality.
No, it's the same era as like shitty titty thumbnails, circles and arrows, and low effort gaming content, and especially low effort, the beginning of low effort React content in particular. And there's a list of trends that died out.
I had a thought recently, and it's around a lot of AI shit. I was like, oh, remember when React content was low effort?
And now
React content ain't looking so bad now.
And now I'll take it 1,000,000 times over. Yeah. No.
At least a human. Anyway.
No. I'm referring to an era that, like, I remember because this was everything else being uploaded to Machinima while Best Friends was being uploaded there.
Okay.
So fair. I was looking at it from the trenches on the inside. Mm-hmm. The video gets uploaded and it's right next to a giant zoom in on whatever, Melina's titties and blood. It's just like, what? Anyway. I feel that part of this is like that. So, will putting Twin Peaks outside in the liminal zone protect your feelings? Yeah, it would. Is that what I want? No, it's not. No.
Okay, I'm pretty cool with Twin Peaks' position, so I was kind of doing that out of respect for you, but no, cool, okay.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, reasonably, if you don't like it, it can't really be any higher. It used to be way lower.
What makes it liminal to you? The fact that the respect,
the discrepancy in our opinion on it.
That can't be the criteria that makes something go liminal. Because
Okay.
there's a lot that could go there then.
So what's the criteria?
Something like Caribbean food applies because it is so personal.
Okay.
And the liminal spaces...
I want to point out
and
how at some point Caribbean food became my grandmother's cooking.
Okay.
And those are two different things, Woolie.
Okay. The liminal spaces is also an extremely personal thing, and those are so incredibly subjective that they get ripped out of regular ranking, you know?
Okay, I understand. But where does The Simpsons Season 7 land?
Well, culturally, out of respect, it must be above the cloud path.
I would concur.
Just out of respect for what it is and such. Here's the other problem with this list, though. This shit is boomer coded as fuck.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, this is some unk shit.
Oh yeah, and sitting here talking
and-
about Simpsons jokes from fucking mid-90s, you're telling me that we're gonna sit here and glaze up 1996 to 1998? Oh my god, what an original thing to do. I mean, John, have you ever played the game? Have you ever done the bit where you just go 1998 video game releases?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever done it?
It's never ended.
It's
Yep,
insane.
I have.
It makes no sense.
Crazy.
It makes no sense how many good games came out that year. It's fucking crazy, right? So, Metal Gear, fucking Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil 2, Pokemon, Half-Life, StarCraft. It's crazy. It's crazy what... So this is boomer coded shit we're doing right now. It gets to go above the cloud path, just on reputation.
Mm-hmm.
It is a massive formative cornerstone to you. It is a formative cornerstone to me as well, but I guess I just don't really... What's the word? Revere? No.
It's not as big a thing to you, for sure.
But it is. I guess it's coming. It's. I never would have thought to be like, yo, let's go back and revisit The Simpsons. I never would have thought that, you know? And it hits a little different, but it's such an important part of like all of our senses of humor. And you can like, if you were to breadcrumb my sense of humor and where it came from, this is one of those things. And you go back into this and you'd see like, oh yeah, this makes a lot of what you think is funny and how you think is funny. This is...
Oh, legit. When someone didn't grow up with The Simpsons, I find their sense of humor a little harder to relate to.
Right. And when somebody watched Conan back in the day, I'm like, oh, we're operating on the same speed at certain points. Like there's a level, there's a old Conan bits kind of have that same thing to me, right? So I'm gonna have to say that like The Simpsons, it minimum comes into conversation the same place here where the Boondocks starts.
Yep. I would agree.
And the Boondocks is especially hilarious culturally, but is The Simpsons Season 7 within the light of God?
I think it is. So, Woolie, just to tell you where I'm leaning here, if this was my list, this might be number one. The only thing that equals it is our current number one, which is Fighting with Your Friend.
Okay. I don't feel that way. But I do feel that, like, every time I think about one of these things, and I look and I go, would I put this above it? I go, yeah, but that didn't impact your life as much. And it didn't impact the lives of everyone you grew up with around you as much. And it didn't create a shorthand slang, you know, for the same kind of jokes. I mean, the fact that there's bits about walking into a room full of strangers and yelling out dental plan to see who you're going to be friends with, you know, is like, yeah, that's... Is that season 6, by the way?
That might even be season 5.
Lisa Needs Braces? Yeah, okay, alright. Because these are important moments. And I don't think that, like, Mother 3 has a thing like that for me, where everyone I know is, like, using this formatively in the literal sense of the word. So, on a personal level...
That's season 4, Woolie.
Oh my god.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh my god. 1989 plus 4? Wow. That's so early. That's crazy. I think of season 4 as like, oh, they probably still don't even have their characters on model yet. You know?
Oh no, season 4 is like, that's where The Simpsons takes its current form. Like, it's a little different to what you have now, but there's so many great episodes in season 4.
Is Homer talking like Homer yet in season 4?
Pretty much.
He's not old Homer who's kind of talking like this.
No, he's not. Let's go out for frosty chocolate. He's not that.
Okay, kids. So then, yes, it has to be above Mother 3 on that contingent. But I can't say that I'm going to say starting boxing, which is more relevant currently. Recency bias. Bada bing, bada boom. Your new number 6? Fight me.
I have done it once. I think I can be okay. I think I can be okay with that.
Fight me. Convince me. Pull me.
You see, starting boxing was huge. But some of the shine of starting boxing gets taken away from me now because fighting your friend is number 1. And no experience I had starting as boxing is close to where boxing wins.
So you're almost thinking that boxing is overrepresented by having 2 spots?
I'm thinking maybe we take that down a couple of notches in the next
round.
A
couple?
Yeah.
All right, we need to save that for later.
Okay, Woolie, if you take up boxing again and you're boxing by the time we have the next Grand Theft Audit, I will listen to that.
Hey, I still walk around every once in a while, and the plan to continue hitting the bags a little bit is there.
Great plan. Do it.
Yeah. I'll strap the kid on and head on over.
Look,
it's
Woolie,
not.
She's got to start learning it.
She's got to get in there. I can accept it. I can accept it at number 5 on the basis that some of its light is taken by fighting your friend. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Our new number 5, The Simpsons. I guess say Simpsons season 7.
Simpsons season 7. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I told you to fight me, and yeah, that's a good argument, right?
Just put this all down here.
Oh, above starting boxing.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and yes, that is what we. Beautiful. The Simpsons Season 7 is your new number 5. For those curious, it's been a while since I did a full read of the list. Will I just do it?
Fucking new Berserk, not applicable. Oh my god.
Oh. Okay. Number 47 in the Silent Abyss, reboot the Guardian Code. And from there, number 46 on, Silent Hill Ascension, Omicron, Shenmue 3, Missing a Fighting Game Tournament, Sexy Hiking, Uma Musume.
We are now in the Valley of the Wretched.
The Valley of the Wretched, every Leprechaun movie, 1997's Shining miniseries.
Field of Competence.
Field of Competence, Cyber 6, Solo Leveling, Bloodborne PSX, Police Knots, Fear and Hunger, Darkest Dungeon 2, Riverdale Seasons 1 to 3, Fear and Hunger 2 Termina, Scavenger's Reign, Hunter x Hunter, The Zoldyck Family and Tower of Heaven arc, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, Gunpla, Vinland Saga Season 1. That is too low. That is too low. Sacred and Terrible Air, Ashita no Joe, Kaiji, Ultimate Survivor, Invincible Season 1 to 3, Absolute Batman, entering our top 20 at the Cloud Path, Starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Twin Peaks Season 1, Legend of the Galactic Heroes up to Episode 15, Roman Reigns...
Questionably too low.
Kill 6... every day, Woolie, every day I agree with you more. Kill 6 Billion Demons Volume 1, Dokapon Kingdom, Kamen Rider Gav, Uma Musume, Cinderella Grey and New Era, The Boondocks, the Vengeance Trilogy, and entering at number 10, Outer Heaven, Earthbound, Junji Ito, Reboot, Mother 3, Starting Boxing, number 5, The Simpsons, number 4, The Shining, number 3, Kendrick Lamar, number 2, The Shibuya Incident. For the people saying that Shibuya Incident is too high, it's not. And number 1, Fighting Your Friends.
Yeah, I have to say,
of course.
Yeah. That's Within the Light of God. I think, actually, okay, hold on. I think we fucked up the category naming there. If anyone's making the list and going, hold on, that was all wrong. The beginning of the...
Things might have gotten knocked.
Yeah. But the first category there was Within the Light of God, and then you scroll down from the rest.
Okay, gotcha.
And then The Throne of Heaven, Berserk, Not Applicable, New Berserk, The Liminal Zone, Liminal Space, and Caribbean Food.
Here's what I'll say about Berserk. If anything ever beats it, it will take the throne.
There's no two thrones. There's no space up there?
No, there's no two thrones. There's one throne. So all we got to do is find a piece of media that's better than Berserk.
Interesting. We'll have to see about that then. Because in my brain, I don't know what's in my brain, but I mean, there is a throne, and then there is the ground that throne sits upon when you zoom out. And that is up there. So,
see, the problem there, Woolie, is you'd be just walking into a combo breaker.
Oh, I mean...
Meaning your favorite thing will never be in contention.
I see. Unless the willing combo breaker is denied, because after all, you're like, oh, hey, The Simpsons Season 7? Yeah, I've seen it, but, give me a reason.
Yeah. I don't know why you accepted that. Moving on.
The Shibuya Incident is not too high. I will agree. I've seen people saying that, going like, they're fucking recency. No. That shit was ridiculously cool, and I stand by it.
And
I stand by how cool that was. I was blown away.
With everything else, it's like, you obviously like Kendrick Lamar more than I do. I like The Shining more than you do. The Shibuya Incident, we are 100% aligned on that. And that is why it is so high.
Also,
it's like...
Something important to note about it is expectation of Kendrick Lamar, The Shining, The Simpsons, Boxing, Mother 3 reboot, etc. starts where it starts. Expectation of Shibuya Incident was shonen anime. I start the expectation to what it was the biggest fucking glow up of anything here. Some of these things start high, stay high. That was a humongous leap up. Yeah.
For sure.
All right. John, not for nothing, but, if I weren't me and you weren't you, and, if I didn't know a thing or two, I would swear it felt like you were baiting some kind of vagabond trap earlier just now. I feel like some sort of You know, it felt like some sort of play was being orchestrated there. But
I don't know what you mean, Woolie.
that was just
There could be you wouldn't be foolish enough to fall for that.
Well, no, but I mean, when you say that only one thing, only one throne, only one position, and here we take a temporary concession of sorts. You know, it's anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
And like, you know,
but that's not what you were doing. But that's not what you were doing.
No. And like, I think it's interesting because like, is there one thing that could maybe step up to Berserk and say, "What's up?" Sure. Is it Vagabond? Absolutely. Are we ever going to have that discussion? No.
You can't see it, but I just got a really cool matching set of Kojiro and Musashi statues of them in the middle of their moments that line up, that go right next to the pieces. And I thought it was so cool that I actually brought the Berserk shelf down that used to be up here. I brought it down to this position in the second slot. And I put the new Musashi piece with the Vagabond books over here, since it made sense to just bring it all together.
Yeah, no, it's nice that it beats it in something.
So, Steel Battalion. John?
Steel Battalion.
John.
Woolie.
Hi. Can I get your consent, if you don't mind, to, in this episode, include the little thing?
No, I don't consent.
I don't see why do we need to listen? I just wanted to have a little
Were you about to say, why do we need consent? I'm pretty sure that's
not what I was about to say.
Okay.
What I was about to say is that I thought it would be pretty fun to just bring that aspect to the episode so that people could see a little bit of like what happened before this.
No, that was a personal phone call between two friends, and it's not for public consumption.
I don't think there's anything there that is an issue, and furthermore, I took the liberty of removing any details that might be of a concern, and furthermore, Foxcade can do that in post to make sure, so that we can make sure nothing, whatever, is there. But you
were recording the phone call. You were recording the phone call.
Listen, yes, and also
that's fucking creepy.
Okay.
Immediately.
Okay. But
Woolie, here's what you just said to me. So, I might have been recording our phone call.
I said at the time that I was, and you heard me. So now I'm asking again, can we just add some context as we move forward here? It would add some context. Here we go. We're doing it. Yes, we're doing it. All right. Thank you.
I do not consent.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
What are the single party consent?
They
laws
don't apply they don't apply here. So
okay, well, buddy, you better stay out of fucking Ireland.
Listen, I'm gonna do a little. It's fine, okay? I'm just gonna hit the button, and I'm going to set up just a little clip, and I think people should see this to give some context to where we left off and what happened between now and the last episode. Yeah? You remember this?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay. Okay, hold up. Wait. Let me record this. All right.
Why are we recording?
Why
are we recording?
Okay.
Why are we recording?
I just need to.
Not a conversation for public consumption. This is a private conversation between two grown adults.
Let me pause the Simpsons. Let me pause the Simpsons and give you
genuine fucking lunatic. What is this? What is this, Woolie?
So you got my note?
I got your note. No, Willie, I got more than your note. In fact, I got all your fucking packages. I got your fucking
wait, John, hold on.
Bin.
Wait, very important. John. There's two of them. Did you get both?
Don't worry. I got your George Washington Xbox.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, so the eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed. Do you want to know what the eagle brought?
That's
Willie?
awesome.
Do you want to know what the eagle brought?
Well,
did you look inside? Charge of €300. At 9 a.m. this morning, I get woken up by a delivery person who charges me €300 to accept your bullshit.
Okay, that's a bit more than I was thinking. I'm sorry, that's unexpected. Do you want to know how much it costs to fucking send it to you, though? So I think we're okay. It's fine.
Wait, why would I care how much it costs to send?
Just so you know that, I mean, look, the it's going on the pile. The podcast is covering it, so don't worry about it, right? We are going to just make sure that we're taking care.
Lesser more than 300. Lesser more than 300.
A little bit more than that, buddy. Maybe add a digit.
More than 500.
Maybe add a digit. It's fine.
Woolie, shut your fucking mouth for 1 second. More than $1,000.
Dude, listen. Just hey.
Woolie,
this is literally for the podcast. I cannot think of this is the definition of a business expense.
This is genuinely the most clown-shoe bollock I have ever endured in my life.
It is literally a business expense. Okay,
look at this fucking manual. Look at this fucking manual.
It's fucking shit. Well, hold on. You didn't actually order it on eBay or anything, did you?
It doesn't matter at this point if I ordered it or not, Woolie, because it's here.
Yeah. So the words you're forgetting are "thank you, my friend, who's looking out for me." I didn't know where I was going to get it or how I was going to find it. And I spent this month maybe running in circles a little bit.
I am going to murder you.
You built, maybe I got a little bit of a sweat going.
You hear me?
But it turns out that my trustworthy friend already had me covered, and he shipped me his own Xbox and copy of Steel Battalion out of the goodness of his heart. And you know what? To that I say, you are welcome, John. You are welcome for me covering you. Oh my God. Well, now you don't have to worry about what to do. You failed the first one. This time around, I took some insurance and had it, shipped your way, so you're good,
emergency
buddy.
Escape procedures in rivers or seas. Because of the VT is not 100% watertight and waterproof, it cannot navigate the bodies of water deeper than 20 meters.
I'm sorry. Do you have to read a book as your fucking recommend? Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps that manual is a little bit shorter than House of fucking Leaves, John. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
And I'm the villain.
I mean, bars, right? When you're right, you're right. When you're spitting, you're spitting. And I just, looking back on it, I'm just like, damn, how can I say something so brave yet so controversial? It's kind of crazy.
Wait, which bit? That was all muted for me.
What?
Yeah, it was. But wait, I thought you were just doing that because you want Foxgate to have it in the edit. I was there. I had that conversation.
Okay, fine. Yes, it will be, but also I didn't know that was entirely muted for you. I was hoping that you would have heard that exchange and refreshed your memory on how it went. But, which bit?
It's still seared in there, Woolie.
Okay, well, you remember the spirit of how it went then, yes?
Yes.
Good enough? Okay, cool.
Why do you think I didn't consent?
It's fine. It's fine then. It's fine now. And you know what? You can say you didn't consent, but you accepted the charges. And to be fair, real talk, I didn't know that part was going to be received that much. I thought it was all being taken up on the shipping cost. So that's a bit nuts. However,
how much were the shipping costs, Woolie? How much did you cost our enterprise?
Listen,
with your fucking little stun. Was it four figures, Woolie? Was it four figures?
It was four figures. Now here's the thing: could you have bought it on eBay? Perhaps, and you might have sweated a little bit.
Mayhaps half that.
But I couldn't.
Woolie!
But I couldn't guarantee that it would have gotten there in time for the recommend to be done. I don't know when you would have received it. I don't know.
Woolie, regardless of what I have to say about this game from this point here, I just want to bring attention to the fact that this is the most clown shit you have ever pulled. Ever.
Yeah.
Of all the fucking dumb bullshit Woolie stunts I have had to endure, this is the worst one. Okay?
And to that, I say once again, you're welcome. Okay? Because you could have...
I want to strangle you.
First of all, once again, as I said there, the definition of a business expense. Secondly, now I know there's a little bit of sweat when the episode ends and you're like, literally how? And I'm like, that's a you problem. But I'm just thinking, it's okay. Let them sweat a little bit. It'll be fine. And then they'll get that knock, and then they'll open up the package, and then they'll see that, hey, I got their back. It's covered. No problem. Right? And in the end, with even consideration for the fact that you're in Ireland and you have a European outlet and everything all taken care of, I'm not even worried about the idea of like, where are you going to go get an Xbox? I've got that one with the Benjamins on it. Don't worry, you got it covered. The legendary Xbox that I got set up for me back in the day, full of all these fighting games and fun stuff. Did you see some of those fighting games on it, by the way? I
actually did have a browse through
that shit's
your
fucking...
Xbox.
It's
okay, we'll get to that.
Okay. But the idea of this very difficult to find product, I wanted to ensure that the recommendation could be completed because I care about this show, John. And I didn't want to walk into an episode where you turned up going, you know what? I tried and I couldn't do it, so fucking whatever. And squirt the ketchup on your stomach and then just start doing the Millhouse. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that we would have a discussion today. And so I made sure by doing the unthinkable and actively shipping you my Xbox, my full working copy of Steel Battalion, and the instruction manual, and a little note that says, call me. So now we're up to speed.
Okay. So when all this daydream of a lunatic fever dream played out in front of me, Woolie, something very interesting happened inside me. Uh-huh. Because I have had a recommendation that I've wanted to give you for a long time now. And I've really gone back and forth on whether it's a reasonable thing to do to another person. And me and Michelle have actually talked about it. I have talked to my wife being like, is it fair to do this to Woolie?
Yap.
I know it's...
Yap. Yap.
You know what she said, Woolie?
What'd she say?
She said, no, it's not reasonable.
Wow. Really? Actually? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's interesting.
And so I took it off the table. This has made me realize that I had gone soft.
All I was trying to do, a lot of the times I've realized there's a little bit of, I realized something about the pattern of the show. Oftentimes, unintentionally, is it my turn? Do you not like it when it's my turn? Unintentionally, I've realized that there is often a pattern I will have where I will prepare something in mind, and then you'll do something. And then I will change what I had in mind. And what often happens is in response to some shit that you do, I go, oh, is that the energy we like? okay, then, well, here you go. And
that is fucking wild. Hearing that come out of you, that is fucking that is the closest a sentence has ever been to a fucking psyop, Woolie. That is the most lunatic shit I overreact. Go back to the very fucking beginning of this podcast. The very beginning. Listen to it. Okay.
So there are times when you throw something out at me, and I go, okay, that's how you want to play it? All right, let's do this then. Right? And there's other times where I go, you know what? I care about my friend, and I just want them to have a good time, so let's go build some gunpla together. Let's have a nice time, you know? And it goes back and forth. But ultimately, right, this is one of those moments where whatever I had in mind, Fear and Hunger tends to do that, by the way, gets a little bit, like, pushed out of the way because...
Just wanted my friend to play some of my favorite games. That was it.
And here we are. Here's a situation where you're like, you like permadeath, you like struggling, you like losing your progress and working your way through and grinding it out and trying to figure out how to get to that next spot with no concern or guarantee that your time is being wasted. You want to play this game? You want to go this way? Have I got something in store for you? Oh, what sights. Oh, what sights. So, yeah, it's a little bit excessive to ship this entire fucking thing over to Ireland. It is. But I'll tell you one thing. The experiences that you fucking cherish going off on in Termina, there are things here that I hope you might have seen a little bit of similarity, a little bit of parallel, maybe. I don't know. How'd it go?
Okay.
How did it go? How did Steel Battalion go?
So, there's a few things we need to kind of cover here. Okay, so first of all, I streamed Steel Battalion. And I will say, there was a little bit of a miscommunication with us where I thought this was a sexy hiking kind of situation, a challenge stream. And you thought it was, no, this is a more you need to experience this shit. So I think I've experienced, and so I did put more hours into it since I streamed it, but not to the level that I know you wanted, and that sucks.
So now here's the thing, right? Like, yeah, a sexy hiking type thing is like that's an afternoon of your time. It's going to do what it does. You're gonna feel it, and then we'll talk about that. Then there's a Dokapon, which you pop it in, and then you take a look, and then you pop it back in again, and then you look. There's a little bit more here, right? There's something going on here. There's something happening. And you kind of start to learn about yourself, you know? And now Steel Battalion is not a fucking... There's problems here, for sure. But in terms of the things you particularly espouse on a regular basis, there are checkboxes here that I think are worth hitting. And thus, the intent was to hand you back something that was a little bit of Fear and Hunger, a little bit of that grind I was doing, making my way through that game, fucking struggle playing through, and a little bit of, read a fucking book, by the way.
But you know, well, not the entire recommendation either, was it?
It wasn't the entire recommendation.
A part of this was I had to stream Steel Battalion, which I did. Thank you for everyone for checking out that stream. And you know what Woolie said to me about that stream? He was like, so you know what, John? You're actually probably going to want to get a camera on your controls so people can see what you're doing. And I was like, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's a unique peripheral unlike anything else that's ever been tried in the video game industry.
So people aren't familiar. Steel Battalion is a 44 button mech game. And you have two giant controllers. You know what? I'll
just get it.
Controller.
I went through the trouble.
I will.
And you know what? Here's what I did, John. I even lost, this version that I bought didn't have the emergency cover for the flap. So I went out and 3D printed a replacement cover for the emergency flap that you see there.
That's incredible.
It was a transparent one originally, and I had to go and get a 3D printed replacement just to make sure that you got that little experience of flipping it open, because I care.
That's important. That's important. Hang on, I'm just gonna.
Yeah. Let's show them that bad boy. You know, I mean, it's just so ungrateful. Like, there could have been so much struggle in tracking this down and figuring out how to get it to Ireland, much less an original Xbox One working, by the way. Not Xbox One, but the original Xbox. It's such an insanely convoluted thing. And I know everyone was left with like, that's insane, Woolie. Why would you? And so I actively went out of my way to make this more doable. And like the level of gratitude or lack thereof. Look at that. Look at that. That's 3 pieces all stuck together. Look at that. Beautiful. Mwah. You know, I mean, I don't know what to say, folks. I genuinely don't. That being said, I hope you tuck that thing in at night and properly treat it, because, you know.
It also has some foot pedals.
3 foot pedals. Yes, it does.
Yeah. And when I was doing, when me and Woolie were talking about the stream, this was, after we recorded, Woolie says to me, and John, and I thought the way you were talking was weird. You're going to want to get a camera on them feet. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, you're going to want to get you want to, and he says it like this, which I found really strange. He just goes, you're going to want people to see that acceleration. I was like, I have never heard you talk like this. And then Woolie just goes, no, like, trust me, it's so important that people see the feet. And then he goes,
the funny thing
was weird
with a Chianti and fava beans. The funny thing is here I found that those brakes and accelerating pedals work a lot better off the bare skin than they do encumbered with socks or shoes. You'd think it would work like a car, but it turns out that like full tootsies on blast are a more efficient way to pilot the robot.
I did a fucking foot cam on stream. I was wearing socks and I was wearing sliders. People were weird. That's like a thing for people.
Oh, we got some Tarantinos out there, I see.
Oh my god. And I'm reading the stupid giant fucking manual, and I'm trying to understand this 44 button controller, all while fucking like super chats are coming in going, John, I think the controller would work better if you took off your socks and shoes. And it's like,
now
that was a nightmare.
Yeah. Now listen, I'll have you know, concerning the manual, by the way, that any missing or torn pages were not intentionally to remove you from the ability to look at your proper V3 controls.
I don't believe you.
I
don't believe you.
When I got this, this is unfortunately the state that it arrived in. And I had to myself go, was this an intentional thing? Did Cap like what? And no, that was unfortunately the state it arrived in. This is not the first time, by the way. This was a replacement copy, because there's one from even further way back in the day that was used on the old show with Best Friend stuff. But neither here nor there. 44 buttons, 2 sticks, an escape switch.
I am going to put aside the fucking weird, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know if this is malevolence. I don't know what's wrong with you sometimes.
I think that this...
Oh my God.
I enjoy recording this podcast, and sometimes I think financially, sometimes we gotta just take a little bit of a risk and bring the show where it needs to go.
Okay.
And I think we shouldn't have any fear about that. You know, I'm the kind of person. I'm the kind of person that spends money.
Sometimes
I like the. I don't. Spending money on an experience with a friend, that's priceless to me. There's no limit to that.
So
I am
here's
happy,
my problem, Woolie. Here's my problem.
Happy to spend on a friend's experience.
Sometimes you are trying to antagonize me in a way that I know is invisible to 98% of our audience.
This is crazy.
And I know what you're doing.
This is crazy.
You know what you're doing.
This is crazy. This is so insane.
You fucking know what you're doing. It's not insane.
I had to spend
you
a day.
You want it to feel that way.
I had to spend a whole day of my time packing up this box and getting a whole separate thing.
You want me to look like a crazy person in front of our audience, and that's part of it. And that's what makes me so...
Ladies and gentlemen, if I didn't send it to them, I could have simply waited for them to have to figure out how to get an Xbox and copy of the game on their own.
That was part of it, though.
That
was part of it. You wanted me to answer my door. You wanted a strange man to show up with a gigantic box, and he's like, "Can I have €300?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
That feeling of how do I even do this? I wanted that to linger a little bit after the episode recorded.
So you admit it. You literally just copped the feeling, everything I just said.
The feeling. But then I wanted that to be followed by relief when you realized that I had your back. That's what I wanted. I wanted you to feel a little bit of sweat, start looking at eBay and go,
I felt...
Which I think you tweeted about it or whatever, and I was like, I don't know, fucking whatever.
I looked at eBay and I was like, this is going to cost me €600 fucking euro. That's insane. What's wrong with Woolie? And then it arrives, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, how much did this cost to ship? And then I ask you, and it's a lot more than that, Woolie.
Yeah, look, 300 in receiving fees and 1,900 going out in shipping is barely something that I think should matter in the grand scheme. I think, quite frankly, that if we...
Patreon.com versus Wolves podcast.
I think that if we are trying to take this show to the next level...
I am running
we need to take this show to the next level, and
who is actively drilling holes in the boat as we sail. Audience... He is literally ruining me. Can we please talk about this fucking game now?
Did you boot it up and play it? You did. Let me know how that went. Go!
So I'm going into this, and I'm hot. Woolie, I'm hot. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. I don't want to have...
Is financial ruin a recommendation thing? No, we're sharing together. Go on.
No tutorial in this game. No tutorial.
Nope. Just a book. Yeah.
Just so that means I have to start streaming it.
Oh, did you sit down at the bench in fear and hunger and save? Oops, you just lost a save. Well, you know what you gained? The knowledge of what you're supposed to do the next time.
I did not ask you to do any of that in front of a live audience.
Oh, well, you know. I'm sure they enjoyed it.
It's like Woolie gets cornered and immediately just breaks out the, oh, well, you know. And it's like immediately, it's like wholesome Woolie, and I can see it. I can see everyone just going, oh, that little guy, he's not,
fun little stream and all and everything, even though it was just a little like, one mission, two mission here, there, whatever going on. Go on. Look, it's not for me to steal the thunder of what you did do
so anyway,
or didn't do for that matter.
I am annoyed. I am frustrated. I am starting this fucking game. And I don't even know how to start the mech. And I look down at the controller. And the cockpit button has lit up. And something inside me does go, oh. And I press it. And I reach out. And I feel the clack of the button. I'm like, huh. Then, still nothing. But the ignition button has lit up. I'm like, oh. I hit the ignition button. Everything else comes to life, and I get a UI on my screen. And I'm like, okay. This is interesting. There's like a physicality to this.
And then what comes next? And then what comes next, John?
I have to hit start, and I have to wait for all the bars.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You skipped a step.
Okay, I mixed up those steps. I have to basically flick all these little metal switches on one by one, and it's like Ava graphics of starting up the mech with everything going.
That
You can-
moment when you flip the 5 switches.
You can flip all these at once if you want. If you do that, me and you are not the same. Am I
If
right?
you're
Woolie?
a
Am I
fucking
right?
coward, if you are a lame coward who has no appreciation for the finer things in life, you flip all those switches on at once. If you understand the fucking assignment, you flip the 5 switches one by one as your own anime OP is playing in your head because the game is not playing the music for you.
Yeah. And it's like a sensation, and obviously, like, the unfortunate thing about Steel Battalion is it is massively prohibitive to anyone who wants to play it, because at this point you are talking about sinking €400 in, so like, or $400 or whatever. So I know that like our audience won't be able to experience it, but even if you just get a chance to play it, just start a mech in Steel Battalion.
That's why we get
a
to
kind of magical moments.
I know that this is insane and impossible for people to get their hands on, and that's why I look at this and go, at least we get to talk about it here. You know? That's the best I can say. Because here's the other problem too, is like the existence of this discussion is going to affect the price of this game in the aftermarket. It sucks, but this is how it works. Now, you flip those switches, then the HUD pops up.
Then the hood pops up, and basically you have all these little like bars that are all kind of going back and forth, and what you have to basically do is wait till they all go past a certain point, and when 4 out of 5 of them are past that point, you have to hit start, and that starts up your mech. And this is the equivalent of revving a car and trying to get it to start, because you're going to do it a couple of times and you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get it, and your mech lurches to life.
Yeah, you got to get all 5 past the bar, by the way. But but those feet tend to lag. The startup on the feet tend to lag a lot, and it's just a hunk of junk. And it's God damn it, fucking start.
Yep.
You know?
And from there, and like at that point, I was like, okay, I think I have locked into the philosophy of this game a little bit. This is a painstaking recreation of what it would be like to pilot a giant lumbering mech. This is not an Ava unit. This is not a Zone of Enders mech. This is the least graceful, slowest, most plodding piece of military hardware you could pilot. This isn't like a Gundam.
So what you're describing, this game is a haptic experience. And what I mean by that is everything you do on the controller is 100% of what you would do if you were in this world, piloting this mech, surviving this war. There is not a single action being taken on the controller that is being automated for you and simplified, because a lot of video games will do things like hit the thumbstick, you move forward, hit the R trigger, you lock on, and then you fire with the L trigger, whatever, and you shortcut these processes. Every game does it to make it feel cool. This is the complete opposite of that. This is you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you turn too quickly?
Oh, did you turn full speed at gear 5?
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
You thought that was a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Well, fuck you.
Bam! Down goes Frazier. Your mech is on its ass, and you better figure out a way to get back up, or you might get fucking cooked. Because you can't do shit while you're down there except wipe your windshields and shoot out chaff. Yeah. This is like kind of like with like a flight simulator bit where you can run a flight simulator and complete a setup where you are flying a plane, right? Every action you take here is one-to-one. This is what it is. It is a one-to-one haptic experience, unlike anything I've ever seen in video games. And
completely, and like
the balls to like,
oh my god,
go for this.
So here's the thing, like I was thinking like, okay, we definitely had a miscommunication in that like I thought this was a goofy challenge, and there's more to it than you, and I was kind of like, okay, but why did I think that? Like why was that idea in my head? And I actually went back and I read a bunch of reviews for Steel Battalion. And while like there is positive reviews for it, there is a big consensus not a consensus. There are people being like, this is a bad game with a big gimmick.
Okay. Yeah.
And I really thoroughly disagree with that. I think this game is fascinating.
Yeah. And I think...
And it's so much like... This is not a game where the controller is the thing. This is a game where the controller grew out of its central philosophy. You know, the controller was not the start. The idea to recreate the experience of piloting a mech was the start. And the controller became the only way to make that reasonable.
And you, not only are you 100% accurate, but... that philosophy extrapolates into sometimes like the way the mission objectives play out. So if you got to go a little bit further in, what did you by any chance get to do? Like, did you make it to say the third mission?
Yes, I did.
The cliffside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The cliffside is a mission where you come out of this bunker and you open up and you got to do the whole boot process and, all right, get your fucking gear going. And right in front of you outside is a wall that you can run right into, right? First thing. And so you've got to turn swiftly around to just avoid this wall right in front of you while you're getting shot at, right? And there's a couple other mechs on the field. And the mission is there's a cliffside that's pretty steep, and a bunch of enemies are up there with big guns, and they're currently they're forming a blockade the war against Hai Shi Dao is struggling with, and you have to help them clear that blockade. And the only way to do it is to use your VT. You're using your G1 VT at this point, the Decider. Great name for a mech, by the way.
Great name.
And the mission is to walk up the cliffside 180 and just shoot the guns back there. That's it. But because of what the game is and what it's asking of you, like if this were Armored Core or something else, it'd be like, yo, go in there, blow that up, a boss will drop down, change stage, get up to the space station. Like, this is like, nah, dude, just get to the end of the road, past some of these guns, and get that shit up a steep hill. Figure out how to get up a hill. That's the mission. And like that challenge in and of itself, because of what the game is asking of you, they went, the philosophy of the game, they went, that's enough of a challenge for mission 2. We can say that once the player is able to figure out how to get up this steep mountainside, okay, take the fight on top, mission over. That's what we wanted you to learn there. You know, it changes what the video game's objectives are as a result of the fact that this is such a haptic experience.
Yeah, there's parts of this game that are just like your ability to do basic tasks in this mech. But then, like, on top of that as well, there is the eject mechanic, which is fucking crazy. So basically, when you die in this game, if you actually die, if your mech blows up with you inside it, that's permadeath. That's your character dead. You have to start the game again. Like from mission 1, the very beginning of the game.
Did you end up finding out where your damage indicators are?
No.
Okay, because you can.
No, I did not.
You can see where the mech's armor is if you know where to look on the HUD. Yeah. Okay.
That's another part. A huge part of this game is just figuring out the HUD.
Oh,
because it's crazy.
But as you take damage, multiple things can happen. In some cases, as you fire and whatnot, the screen can get cluttered up with mud, smoke, etc., and you might need to wipe your shields.
Amazing feeling, though.
A fire might break out in the cockpit, which calls for an extinguisher button, so you got to be ready on that. Or you might find your ship in the middle of exploding, at which point you have to eject or die.
And you have, like, I don't know how long it is, Woolie. To me, it felt like 2 or 3 seconds. Once you see, like, once you see the static, and maybe there's a way to, like, see it come earlier, but for me, where I didn't know how to tell my health, I felt like I had 2 or 3 seconds to hit eject or have my file deleted.
If you know where your life bar is on your HUD, if you know where the ship's hull integrity is at, based on that, you can be prepared in advance, and you have a solid, like, let's say 4 seconds, seeing where that is. If you don't know where to look and you're just relying on the flashes and the smoke in your face, you have about 1.5 seconds to eject or you're dead.
It's insane. It's completely insane.
Yeah, and if you don't eject, you're killed in action, your save is deleted, and you're spit back out unceremoniously to the press start screen. And the only reason, in fact, on stream why you were able to see, like, free mission and all that stuff is because it had my save there. But
sure.
you are spit back out to press start campaign. That is it. Or you eject, and then you get your fucking guitar.
So, okay, there is an early 2000s aesthetic to this thing that I fucking adore. And it's like all the unironic guitar solos.
Yeah.
It's the shitty pre-rendered 3D still images. Like, it's just, I'm like, that eject screen is so sick because it's just you standing in front of your fucked up mech as someone plays a slightly melancholy but still kind of hopeful like guitar.
Escape to safety.
Rules. Yeah.
And the thing is, again, to talk about the diegetic experience here, you're in-game, you're talking about the music. You're only hearing that when the mission's over and we're going back to, like, another screen. But once the gameplay begins, there is no music, right?
No music at all.
There is a way to get music, but you have to requisition a boombox and play tapes on the boombox, which you hear inside the cockpit, which don't sound like the game with music. It sounds like a boombox in your cockpit playing the tracks you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I had a moment with this game that really, I think it really brought home a lot of what the game is and what it looks like to get better at this game. So when you're in your mech, a huge amount of your viewpoint is cut off. Like, I would say that you are kind of like peering out through a porthole that is maybe 40% of the screen. And everything else is your cockpit and your HUD.
Your weapons, your ammo counter, the second weapon, secondaries, magazine changes, the gas tanks, the fuel that you're going to run out of, and you're going to need to change. If you don't know how to change your fuel tank, you're going to stop moving and fucking die.
Mm-hmm. And so then, like, at the top of your screen is a monitor that's like your radar and stuff. But that monitor is like biting down into your viewport and obscuring even more of your views. And I was like, man, I could fucking barely see anything. And especially with, like, the guys on top of the hill, like, I kept having to, like, look up and look down and readjust, and it was so annoying. And at one point I was looking down at my controller and I was like, wait. And it was like monitor on off, and I hit the button and my monitor just goes and disappears.
That's it.
And all of a sudden I have like 10% more view, and that's nothing, but it was significant. Like, it mattered. It made combat easier, and it was like, oh. And it's you mastering all these tiny details about your mech.
You, to do what you just described, need to be confident enough to pull a Luke Skywalker. because you're putting the radar away. You can't see the radar anymore. You're going off of your instinct, and you're taking the HUD to see the field and control it yourself, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, for the rear of the view at the bottom, it's not a rear view. It can be a lock-on view. It can be a front view. Even though you turn, you could always keep front facing. You could choose what you want that rear view camera to be. But I know that for me, I'm like, I hate when things are up behind me and chaff. So as soon as I start, put my coffee down, hit that rear view, pull me up. I want to see that. But you customize and get your feel around how to fucking make this hunk of junk move.
And like, so then, like, I'm kind of figuring out all these, like, the extinguisher, and like, I'm kind of figuring out you shouldn't really be looking around very much. You should be just sticking with that left stick. So you have a little analog stick with your thumb that you can like look like that's your pilot's skull basically. But you don't really want to touch that so much. You kind of want to keep your view center and always be looking where your mech is pointing, because otherwise you get really, really disorientated.
Yep.
And there are situations where you want to like look out a certain window, but it's very rare. But one of the moments that I had with it,
because where your pilot is looking is not where your gun is pointed, Yeah, and that's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that on that beach level, I kept running out of ammo. Like, I just run out of ammo, and it's like, fuck. And then I realized, wait a minute, one of these sub-weapons is a fucking sword. It's like an electric sword.
Yeah.
And so what I got good at
Plasma
is like targeting an enemy from across the beach, sprinting over to them in gear 5 in a straight line before they could get anything off, and just cutting them down. And that is one of the best feelings I have ever had in a video game, because to do all that, it's like you're cranking up to gear 5, you're like trying to line the sword up, you're like doing all these things, you're making sure that your path is clear. It takes an incredible amount of planning and time and energy to just run up to an enemy and hit it with a melee attack, something that is the absolute default for any other video game.
And when it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong.
Horrible. You're fucked.
But when
now
it goes
there's someone
right,
in your face just blasting
and
you.
and you're recovering and you're trying to turn and they're on your ass, but when you nail it and you knock them down and now you have that shot, right? That's it. You can actually fire down.
Beautiful feeling. So that was like, stuff like that felt great. And I could start to feel like I was getting better at the game, but it was this feeling of like my motor functions are improving. I know that I don't. So these two big sticks you're holding, I know that I don't tilt it that far. This is a very gentle process, and my brain is learning how to move this reticle around the screen. And this reticle is not designed for my convenience. It's not designed to feel good. It's designed to feel like you're piloting a mech. It's designed to feel like you are moving an 80-ton arm from left to right.
Have you ever used, because the right stick feels like a pilot's joystick, right? Mm-hmm. At the left stick, when you move it into a position and let go, it stays where you placed it. Mm-hmm. I've never used a stick like that, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is meant to, it specifically, it does not return to center. It's meant to stay there if you want to continue having your aim in that position, And there's little, and you have to get used to the feeling of that, of course, letting go and then returning to where it was.
And like when you start, it is the most cumbersome game you have ever played. Like, bar none, it feels like sludge in a way, big kinetic sludge. But the more time I spent with it, the more I was replaying that scene from Alien 2 where Ridley is like doing the claw and doing all like the fancy tricks with it, and they're all like, wow, she can pilot that thing, And
did you get to the farm level?
No, I did not.
Okay. Because there's a level you get to a bit further in, and so the 2080 campaign, which is that first block of 10 missions or so, is there's a button on the console called manipulator, and what that does is it pulls a little arm out, and
oh my god,
and you have to, in this mission, go pick up some particular important items and retrieve them, and you have to use the manipulator arm to grab them and hold on to them and bring them back to safety, right? You then learn how to aim it, which it's a different aiming process from your regular thing, because the mission beyond that, or two, requires you to navigate through a very treacherous canyon, get into a bunker, and when you get into an elevator that's a loading bay, it has a button on it, and the only way to press the button on the elevator door is to walk up to it, pull out your manipulator arm, and let the arm hit the button for the mech so that the elevator will go down.
That's fucking
and if you
and
didn't...
So do you have control over that arm?
You do. You have full control over the arm, and you have to learn how to use it in order to use an elevator to get down, because that's how a loading elevator works.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Did you do any comms?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And that was fucking cool. On one mission, I ran out of ammo, and I was like, what the fuck am I meant to do here? And then, like, you know, again, I looked down at my controller, and all of a sudden, one of the red comms buttons is lighting up. And I'm like, huh. And I hit it, and it's my pilot going, I'm out of ammo.
Weapon Master.
And then the message... Yeah, so the message comes back, a different comms button lights up, and I hit that button. And he's like, yeah, we're sending supplies to your way now.
Oh, you got lucky. That must have been because I left the dial on the Weapon Master comm, so it called the right person right away when you hit that button. Typically, it's on the first channel, and you have to know which channel pertains to which CO.
Gotcha.
One is your mission commander, one is your party in the field with you, one is your weapon master for getting reloads, and you have to know how to dial them like a Metal Gear style, you know. And you have to turn it to the right frequency, and then do the command, and then the buttons all pertain to what you want to ask them. So the communication section is there's a whole thing to it that gets even way more complicated than I even figured out, and going into like. Because the second campaign requires you to master that, to talk to your people on the field and tell them what to do while you're playing. But that's a whole other bit to it.
So there's a whole like real-time strategy.
Telling people who are with you
Jesus
what to do as you are on the battlefield. And that's the comm style.
That is insane.
While you play. Yeah. There are missions that you get to, like that aforementioned one in the canyon I was describing, where it's a long mission. It tells you expect this mission ETA to be about 40 minutes.
Jesus.
And that means you're not going to have enough ammo, even if you gave yourself a loadout that was the most efficient for weight. You will not have enough bullets and ammo to deal with all the problems. You can run past some of those problems, or you can find somewhere safe and call in a weapon master. When you call in that weapon master, did you make sure the coast is clear? Because they've got SAM sites and anti-air missiles that are available to take out your fucking weapon master if you don't protect it. In which case, oops, you done goofed.
That's
no
incredible.
Reload for you.
It really, it is such an insanely punishing game, but you're right, I do love that about it. So one thing that really struck me about the mech, it's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, buddy.
Know, this is a beat up old ass mech, and it fucking sucks. And you can barely see out of it. You can barely see out of it. And I know this isn't how you wanted me to experience this, but I decided to mess around in free play after bombing out of the campaign a few times. And unbeknownst to me, I essentially got into the end game god mech, the Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut.
Right? And I know that you wanted me to come across that more naturally, Because there's like a whole level up pipeline you go through. Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, you start out in your Decider, which is a Gen 1 piece of shit. It's a fucking clanker. And you walk around with it. And the way the game works is, so there's command points, which you earn by doing the missions and doing them well. And that gives you access to more materials as you level up in your positioning. But it also has, anytime you destroy an enemy robot, that's something that you can order if you have the money for it, right? Anytime I
did actually end up ordering one of the shitty enemy robots.
Exactly.
And its screen was like black and white.
Yeah.
I can't use this fucking thing.
Yeah. The I think the mitzvah. I think
But it was also really fast, which was awesome.
So that's the thing is like as you feel like you're piloting this clunky piece of shit, and then you order up one of the enemy robots and you jump into that, and the cockpit is not even in color; it's black and white. You can't. It's so dog shit awful, right? But it moves. Yep. It does move, but
it really moves,
right? Yep. And so you kind of realize, oh, I was eating good with this basic G1 decider I have, And so what happens is you get used to that, and you kind of are looking at the way that the fuel canisters work. There's an indicator over here, and you got to rely on that. And there's these little things that are like, God, that's in the way and whatever, but you go. And in the 2080 campaign, it basically has you go up the mountain, you do those canyons I described. If you do the canyon mission twice, and down the elevator, which is really fucking tricky. And there's a bit of a secret thing where if you go into that, you can find blueprints or you can find a prototype robot that you can then use later on. But you make it through this really tricky sequence of missions, ending with a fight against a battleship. That's fucking brutal. And if you don't lose your goddamn save in the process and kill enough of the right enemies to give you enough G1 VTs to select and use to help you progress, you find yourself basically being given access to at the next mission, the Generation 2 VTs. And you sit inside the G2 and you sit down and start to boot it up. And it looks a little different. It sounds a little different. And as it opens up, you're like, oh my God, it's telling me more clearly how much fuel I have. This is a better meter. You
literally have a better UI. And your viewpoint, which was 40%, it's now your whole screen and you can see everything.
Right.
And like, that was like, it's like this and Void Stranger that made me feel this level of like powered up.
Yeah. The G2 in particular, the Providence is the one you get where like you start to see like old steam looking dials start to be replaced with like lit up bars that you can glance at much more efficiently while you're fighting. The original thing had these weapons that were like screens that were in the way, and when you reloaded, it had to be like, and then brought the next one into way, and you're just like, God, just fuck. And it clears that space up. It gets more digital. It gets more sleek, and it allows you to thrive. It gets a little bit faster and easier to boot up. Moving around is a little bit nicer. You still have to watch out and fall over, but starting at gear 0 into 1 into 2 is not as brutal a fucking... Oh, my God.
The balls of this game to give you an intentionally shitty UI.
I mean, wow.
Right.
And so the thing is that's the G2 experience, and you can go through then the rest of that campaign pretty much rocking your Generation 2 mechs for the most part. You might never experience a G3, but if you do, that's the Juggernaut or the Quasar, for example, is one that you unlock in that mission. It's the end boss that you fight that is super insanely tough, and if you unlock it by doing the secret requirements or by getting your thing high enough or so, you unlock Generation 3, you get into a Generation 3 mech, and the HUD is like, you're like, oh, I'm in a Gundam. And you're seeing like, do-do-do-do-do.
So it was the Juggernaut that I got into like by complete accident.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying, but I have to say, going from the Gen 1 straight to the end game Gen 3 was mind-blowing. Like, I was like, this is fucking incredible. And so while I know it wasn't the way that you were kind of hoping it would happen, I did get that feeling, you know?
It's insane how the whiplash, and you earn by surviving with that one save file, you take it from that 5th mission into the 6th, and then you're like, oh my god, I get something better. I get a little bit of a breadcrumb, which is, I guess this is going to be like getting, I don't know, getting a really useful spell or weapon, you know, in Funger, and like being like, okay, this can help me survive, man. And I got used to the worst version of this, and now it's giving you a little bit of leeway so that you can corner a little bit faster without falling over, right? And so you kind of find too as well, like, yeah, you can deploy chaff and stuff with the G3 stuff with the Juggernaut. The HUD, like, the whole ship is open-ended, and then it closes down and zooms out, and the speed you move at is like you're just Jehuti floating through. It's crazy, you know what I mean? And yeah, it like you barely have to worry about aiming, viewpoint, any of the struggles, because the tech kind of figured it out. But getting your save to progress through and surviving long enough to make it up through the campaign, you get that little bit of a reward of a feeling of like, here we go, we finally got into the next generation. You know, it's a cool thing that happens as you with the fucking struggle in this game.
Yeah, for sure. But no, like, I can see why you recommended it, and it is just like, it's one of those games where it nearly feels like it came from an alternate reality where game design is so different. Like, and I would put like Disco Elysium in that kind of category, where it's like, wow, this is so counterintuitive to so many things we think about games. Like, again, an intentionally shitty UI, an intentionally cumbersome mech, so that you can feel the freedom of not having those restraints. I love that.
And here's the thing. I remember people saying this about like the mini games in No More Heroes. They're like, no, it's meant to be boring, and the map is meant to be shitty because life is boring and shitty when you're not fighting, and Travis feels that, right? Whatever. If you want to make that, if that's truly what you're going for, this is how you fully commit to that. Because that's a dubious, sketchy, like, I don't know, you might be making excuses for something that was poorly designed, you know? But here, the fact that you can get to the other side and see what's possible shows you that, like, no, we really wanted you to feel how difficult this was because you're in a machine that you didn't have time to learn. Your commander, your shit got blown up, and the guy who's going to give you the tutorial, like, got injured, and you didn't have time to learn or anything. He's like, hope you read the book, you know? And the crazy thing about it is like, yeah. So Capcom committed to this insane thing, and Newtype as well. They do Virtual On, and they actually then this thing, which is for the most enthusiast person ever and not meant to make money. They couldn't have thought this would be profitable. Like, they couldn't. I refuse to believe that as a company they would have made that move and greenlit it. There's actually other games out there. They made a second game called Line of Contact, which is a multiplayer LAN-based version of this game meant to be played with others connected with their own Steel Battalion setups and Xboxes to be in the same room. Which
I've heard of cons which hold those like do that
madness, right? And people have figured out how to do it offline. And then there's the heavy armor game, which is the Kinect thing, which is the complete fucking opposite. And you want to, it's so.
I thought about it. Woolie. I was like, is this my way out? Is this how I'm going to do this challenge?
Yeah, by all means, show up to the podcast and say that you played Steel Battalion, the Guardian Code.
Yep. Oh, Woolie, people love it when I do that. People just really appreciate the humor of that bit. So, speaking from experience.
It's so, the way that announcement happened, it's so offensive because Steel Battalion is the most, it's everything we just described: buttons, tactile, hands-on, haptic, and this is the most taking away the game and making you sit there and pilot an imaginary robot it could ever be. Like, the philosophies could not be more far apart from each other. Why would you even call it the same thing? You know, sitting in a virtual Kinect robot tapping invisible buttons is not remotely close to what the vibe of this was. You know, that's not what they did here. They specifically wanted it to be a struggle game. So, anyway.
Look, like, I'll say, like, this is definitely outside my wheelhouse in a big way. I don't play a lot of mech games, and I sure as hell don't play a lot of mech games like this. I have a massive amount of respect for what this thing is and how it's dedicated to its gimmick, how it's dedicated to its, like, what it's going for. And it's not like the controller isn't a big part of that. It is, but what I really came away from it feeling like is just that thing that, like, I understand why this is the way it is. I understand what they're going for here, and I understand there's a real reason this controller exists. It's not a gimmick, you know? And I think that's so cool.
And that is a special thing for a specific kind of person. You can imagine how much that's a dream come true. That was attempted at some point. Because this is something that a fan would do in an unofficial indie way. You know, this is something where you would hear about a game designed that requires someone at their computer to plug in a joystick and a DDR pad and a steering wheel. You know what I mean? Like, this would be some indie, like, hack mucks thing. And instead it was an attempt at a real project and a real product. And its legacy is ultimately a meme screenshot that is the fucking insane stick controller that everybody sees, but not many people know about the actual game that's there too, you know, and the fact that they really fucking did this shit. They really did this shit.
I had a weird game over where I ran out of, like, currency and I couldn't buy any more mechs.
Yes, you have disappointed them by failing and costing them too much money. You're fired.
I want to read the exact text here. It was, let me just pull this up. Oh, God damn it. Didn't know you were such a loser. Have fun pushing pens. And when I originally read that, I read it as have fun pushing penis. And I was like, Jesus. And I guess it was the early 2000s, but then I looked at it and it was pens. And I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, big angry black guy is, like, chewing you out for shit, but, like, he ain't doing that.
Yeah, no, he's not homophobe. He's cool.
I just want you to envision what it's like, even though it's not here in this moment, but envision what, if you will, a mission where you're in the middle of a city that's full of chaos and it's on fire and things are flying, helicopters are coming at you, and your crew is going in and some of them are getting knocked down, and you're pushing through at max speed, and then a volley of missiles comes your way and you get the hang of that third pedal and you fucking dodge to the left and dodge to the right.
I imagine that feels fucking amazing.
And it blows up behind you, and then you return fire, and then you use your melee, close the distance, switch it back up. You know what? I'm out of that. Drop the magazine. We got a little bit of boost. Okay, we're moving. This next section over here, too many enemies. Can't deal with it. Gotta move through. Not moving fast enough. What do? Overdrive. This is the button that's going to use extra fuel. It's going to make you extra vulnerable, but it's going to make you fucking move. Hit that button. Blast through that checkpoint. Don't even look behind you, right? And just the feeling of getting it going and doing everything is just, when it comes together, it is kismet. Yeah, I'm sure you can imagine without looking.
I did not achieve that level of mastery, but what I did play makes me, like, really appreciate what you are talking about.
Yeah, I think the moments that really are meant to activate the neurons are when you hit that dodge boost button to the side and do a Black Hawk down, you know, like insane last second dodge, and most importantly, hitting the switches to boot up. Right, that little sequence is incredible.
So with that, Woolie, we got to take this to the Pantheon, and I think this is real simple. Okay, I think that Steel Battalion is our new number 17, going right below Kill 6 Billion Demons
and right above the finish the story Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes storyline.
All right.
You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, I would have had leeway for anywhere on this because it's such a weird pick.
It's such a weird thing, but it landed. Like, it did. This is not me going, yeah, Woolie, I guess. Like, this landed.
I think, too, that, like, even if you walk away with it being, like, kind of lost on you, there's a sense of respect, you know?
This is the most video game I have ever played. And I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah. I've talked about how there used to be a place that you could go in the city called Virtual World, and it let you pilot a mech in a multiplayer environment. And I had to go sign up, and, you know, it was incredible. You could go eat at this cafe, use the internet a little bit, and then go to a fake library and read fake books about the BattleTech world, and then go with your call sign, swipe in, and it was so much fun. And I'm like, this is the closest thing to bringing that to your house. Fuck it, man. That sounds
so awesome. Jesus.
All right,
Woolie. Well, you know what time it is. Recommend or die.
At the end of the day, you know, hey, I think that some decisions I made, while controversial, were in service to this podcast. And I'm a big believer in, you know, using what we can in service to this podcast, right? So, I also know that, like, hey, look, we're busy. We don't have a lot of time to do things sometimes, and I'm someone who's pretty busy these days as well, especially. So,
sure.
Here's my thing. I think we bring what we can to the show. Sometimes it's a little expensive, but it's worth it. And sometimes it's just our talents that we bring to the show, and I think that could be worth it too. You're a pretty talented video essayist, right?
Well, I mean, by your own admission, the Kendrick Lamar video essays, yes.
So, you know, what the culture feeling?
I'm what the culture feeling, yep.
So my thought was, hey, you know, I've been curious, and I really haven't had a whole lot of time recently, but there's something I've been wondering about, is I've noticed that online there's a really big, like, momentum and groundswell around the show Ed, and Eddie. And I don't know if you've ever watched it, but it's...
Where is this going? Why did you bring up the first part of this and then switch to Ed, and Eddie?
Because that's a cartoon that I remember watching as a kid, but I don't really know why I remember, I don't know, like, what it means today nowadays. And it's something where I'm like, I've always thought, like, I would really like to get to the bottom of, like, why it's held with the energy it's held with on the internet these days. Because I remember being, like, a fun cartoon growing up, and I was like, what brought it back and made it such a staple of online, you know? And I don't have the time to figure that shit out. And quite frankly, I you know, I couldn't be bothered to... You're a video essayist. You can go watch that and tell me why that is what it is today. And
okay,
I think that would make for some good content that we can talk about and figure out what's going on with that Ed and Eddie. How's it? Why all this noise about it now? You know. So yeah.
Okay, is the challenge to watch Ed, and Eddie?
Yeah. The challenge is to go watch Ed, and Eddie, and let's bring it back here and let's figure out what's going on.
Not make a video about Ed, and Eddie. Watch Ed, and Eddie.
Well, I want you to make a book report of sorts and bring it back to the show.
Understood. Okay, just so I'm clear. Okay, well, how many fucking episodes is...
I want you to make a book report of sorts and come back to the show and talk about Ed, and Eddie, and talk about, like, you know, specifically in the context of, like...
This show is 6 seasons.
Okay, well, I mean, look, you make it through. You know, you do what you can here. You do what you can here, but I think what's important is, like, imagine if you were making a video called, like, what the internet did to Ed, and Eddie. and it would start out and it'd be, like...
What do you know that I do not know, Woolie?
I don't know. And I want to discover together, right?
So want me... Okay, so here's what I take from this challenge. There is something weird going on online with Ed, and Eddie, and you want me to investigate that. So this is not particularly a challenge to watch any single season. It's to figure out what the fuck is going on with the Ed, and Eddie online space.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, like, trying to figure out if you've seen the show or not. It's like, I'm not fucking like, what am I like? Okay, I'm pretty tired, frankly, of going through old LFABs and running through the scripts to figure out what you have and haven't experienced. So fuck it,
yeah,
we're not going to do the
weird.
We're not going to be
okay.
So for this, we're just gonna be going and. We're just gonna be. Oh, what is that not fair game to figure out the experiences? Hey, listen.
It's kind of creepy. It's kind of fucking creepy.
Okay,
but, whatever.
Well, I'm sorry that you had my life fully on display for you to go through, and it wasn't the same thing. And if some of us have to work harder to figure out how our recommends are going to land. So I want you to get to the bottom of this, right? I want you to ultimately come back here and no, you don't have to make a video essay about it, but you do have to prepare something and bring it back to the podcast and essentially break down.
Yeah, I mean, like if Kendrick Lamar were standing here, you wouldn't tell him to write a song about Ed, and Eddie.
No, I wouldn't do that. But you are a video essayist, and you have not had the experience of making a video about Ed, and Eddie yet. So I would like that to be part of this. And so that is your recommend, is to go watch some Ed, and Eddie, and come back and let's discuss what's happening with Ed, and Eddie on the internet. And pretty much how that show felt, watching it back in the day.
Okay, so here's what I'm probably gonna just to put this out, because I know the audience like to follow along with this. The way I'm probably going to approach this is like there's too many episodes for me to just watch, so I'll probably find some lists of best Ed, and Eddie episodes or iconic Ed, and Eddie.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And check them out.
The perfect
and then
sessions.
From there, investigate what is happening Ed, and Eddie online.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I want you to go do the work for me. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Jesus, that's a fucking weird one.
Well, hey, fortunately you have a lot of experience doing this, and it should be light work, quite frankly. You can just start out and be like, when I first started.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you, Woolie. I'm not joking. You're gonna go to Anime North, and you're going to die. And you're going to die because I killed you.
I'm certain there will be a very sincere thing that you can discover within the cartoon that will...
You better fucking hope so, Woolie. I hope there's a really good lesson in there about not murdering your friends. I would be praying that that's there if I were you.
Well, that's not a very... I mean, can you try that again in your sincere voice? I mean, the fun part about it's almost like John is a 44-button controller, and you got to figure out which one, which one of these toggles to... And I've gotten pretty good at Steel Battalion, so, I feel like, got a little windshield wiper over there. You got to press the little button,
Woolie. I had a really good time this episode talking to you about The Simpsons, and it really struck me. A part of why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to find out how much you kind of knew about The Simpsons. And it was interesting, like, I guess, hearing your background, because, like, The Simpsons was, like, foundational for me, like, on a literal personality level. And I'm sure there's stuff like that for you, right?
You can't see my knee.
And like, I know some of it, and I thought
it's been on the internet for a while.
There has. And I kind of like this whole thing where, like, I recommend you something that you've already seen in the hopes that you like it. like it enough to revisit it. And there is another foundational property for you that I know has been like a massive, massive deal. And I genuinely just thought, like, if I recommend that to you, then we can go back and discuss it together. And I just think that's like, it's just a good way to get content, you know? Fuck all that. I had a really good time talking to you about The Simpsons, Woolie. And I think we go again. I think we go again. I think we do another episode. No, we do another season of The Simpsons, Woolie. Which one did we do last time? One was it?
We did 7.
7, okay. And you weren't familiar with a lot of the episodes from 6.
You know, I'm pretty sure I've seen them, actually. I'm pretty sure.
So, maybe 5?
I'm pretty sure I've seen all The Simpsons, really.
You know, I think maybe the problem is that we're picking from the pool that was just kind of on TV too much when you were little. So let's say we pick a season that was definitely not on TV, Woolie. Hell, what say we pick season 37?
What? Wait, what do you mean definitely not on TV?
Well, it wasn't on TV when you were little. Have you seen season 37, Woolie? Do you want to do a little combo breaker? Something wrong, buddy?
I was combo breaking the shit out of whatever the fuck you were about to... All right. If you were coming with some low double-digit shit, I was smacking that the fuck off the podcast. Believe me. Believe me. But okay, into the fucking zombie years we go.
Well, okay.
Because look, apparently I've heard there's a turn. And I'm and
so okay. Here's all the cards on the table, Woolie. I haven't seen season 37.
Oh,
this is a double blind.
Oh, we're double blinding it. Okay.
I have seen season 35.
Mm-hmm. And where did that leave off?
I will say that if you're looking for something to the quality of classic Simpsons, no, it's not there. But was there the odd episode that made me like, oh, that was actually pretty good? Yes, there was.
You know, I never watched New Simpsons because I left off in a good place in my head, and I was fine. I was fine letting it lie. It died to me, and that was okay. Why does your need for masochism have to come and fuck with what I hold dear?
Okay, Woolie, look, here it is. I'm gonna throw an additional episode at you. And I want you to start off here. Okay? I want you to watch season 34, episode 13. The Many Saints of Springfield.
34-13. And
I want to tell you why I'm recommending you this episode.
S37.
This was the episode that convinced me that Simpsons could still be something. And as for what waits in season 37, I don't know. Maybe it'll be terrible. Maybe it will surprise us. But I do want you to go in with an open mind. Don't just automatically think this is going to be shit.
All right. I have heard...
Because this recommendation is not as nefarious as it seems.
But I have heard that ever since they started working with an incredible Korean studio, like, it looks way better. But I don't know that that applies to the writing, so...
Yeah.
All right.
So next Versus Wolves episode, The Simpsons season 37 versus what the internet did to Ed, and Eddie.
or something like that. Whatever you want to.
I have no fucking idea. We'll see you guys next time.